And we're here. Welcome.
Okay. All right. So in I was recording it myself actually. Let's start that. Just keeping a good copy of it for my own usage. All right, awesome. So we're a couple of players down, but we're going to keep on playing today. I had hand waved a failed roll, so that you were able to clear the blight from the blood hive area, where you'd fought the chitinous, blood-drinking, exoskeletal alien monster thingies. Which actually, it's a bit of a shame Jed isn't here because he personally dispatched 2 of the 4 of them with his auto-fire coiler rifle. But after a frenzied battle and low dice rolling, resulting in many a missed opportunity for death and some, tragically poor rolling on the part of the GM who didn't do much better, we find ourselves dead carcasses abound. You have rested for a shift, which has allowed you to recover some of your injuries and other things. The zone is cleared of blight. You've searched it and recovered very little. Turns out the monsters didn't, they're not D&D monsters. They weren't hoarding a whole bunch of treasure under their little, nest. Or should I say Dragonbane to stay on point with many of the people on this game. You can, as you no doubt can see right now, I can see more, but you can see one exit heading further in to the Black Ziggurat. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess there's only one way in.
Doug, you are talking and making no noise, which may not be your desire.
It is not, but so we're moving toward 1F with a box, this direction where I'm pinging.
Hey, correcto.
Awesome.
See?
And I guess Asmira is taking point.
You are the guard.
The Delver.
You're the Delver. No, well, yes. Well, then definitively you are going first. As you move out of the horrible space and start making your way forward into the central shaft that you identified when you did the scan. So just so where is the scan map? Oh, there it is. So just for 1 second so that we stay on point. So just to remind you, this is what the scan map looked like. So you can see that you're coming in via into that central shaft that goes down. You may recall that the reason for the scan fading away is the blight gets thicker and more pervasive in the depths of the ziggurat. Now, in your a beginner's guide to delving and things you should be aware of, you are aware that it is quite common for delving ruins to become more dangerous and also more full of the corrupting influence of the blight the deeper you go into them. So this accords with everything you've read, Asmira.
Yep.
Yes.
And your deep experience. You will also note there is a small side shaft coming off just below where you're going to enter the main shaft going down, which goes into a room. And don't forget, not that you chose to explore it, but there is also above you that small side room here with an entrance that you did not detect when you searched the outside of the ziggurat the first time round. Okay.
And we are looking for some people, right? You're looking for the old crew, so we should try to find
Correct.
some traces. And we have
You're actually here specifically to recover the guy from the Navigators Guild, whose ship you found crashed outside. So the member of probably the 4th Directorate. we are completely above board and in no way conduct illegal spying and or disrupting activities against other guilds and or members of the general public, Fourth Directorate.
We're not Big Brother. Don't look at us.
Yeah.
Exactly right. We are but an innocent band of people working to keep you all safe from other things.
Yep.
And are in no way part of the overarching control of the space that has been managed by the Navigators Guild now for over, well, give or take 100 years. All right.
Now,
I
before you
reckon
go
onwards and
on,
downwards.
before you go on, as
Asmira has what?
Go on.
Yeah, Asmira has failed every roll and pushed roll since she entered the cigarette. Her confidence is a bit shaken, but she womans up and takes the lead.
Excellent.
Excellent. Before Verloff either goes to the bathroom or recovers, does he happen to have an extra Fusillard revolver or some type of weapon that I could use other than a cricket?
Like does Verloff have multiple firearms? He
certainly does.
He certainly
from what
does.
I remember.
He does. He's got a Fusillard pistol, which he can give you. He's also got, because he's assumedly sticking with the beautiful Coiler carbine that he is packing.
Yeah, I'm not taking that. I'll take the only thing I've got here is a revolver, a Fusillard revolver, so I will take that.
It's pretty similar to the Fusillard pistol, slightly less accurate, I think, is probably the only difference.
Is there something else I should take?
3, 2, 4. Oh no, it's actually exactly the same. You're packing the same thing. He's literally giving you what you've already got.
All right, but I don't have to worry. I'm worried about the supply use.
Ah, yes. Well, that's a more of a problem. So he's got the Coiler carbine, which if he doesn't put it onto auto fire, it's actually got a pretty decent magazine and low ammo use. I have no image of the Fusillard weaponry, but I've now decided that they look like kit-bashed sort of post-apocalyptic weapons, sort of kit-bashed shotgun type things. And effectively, you've got this one loadout that you put into them. And when you pull the trigger, it just fires, and then you have to load it up again with a completely new loadout. So that's how I'm assuming they work.
Okay.
So yes. Maybe they're fired, actually, just to play with this idea a bit, maybe they're not using gunpowder. So let's pretend for the sake of this conversation in this sort of advanced society that they're using some sort of one-shot energy dump to fire a sort of effectively a magnetic round. So they're like a big fat battery that you've got strapped to this handle. You pull it, it dumps all the energy it has into propelling the projectile, and then you've got this heavy sort of lithium cell battery that you've got to get rid of after you've fired it, weighing a ton, using up supply.
Okay, so either way...
Just made that up.
Okay,
literally just made that up.
There you go.
It sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome, but what can I...
Cool,
is there just no way to use a weapon without using supply?
Yeah, there is. You've got this pickaxe. You can swing it.
I can swing. All right. Well, that's Ashmira's,
and funnily enough, that doesn't run out of supply.
Crazy.
You can just travel around with melee weapons, picks, shovels, clubs, and swing them and hit things.
Maybe I possibly kept them. Maybe I kept them up, just because it was cool and I had bejangled it, and so
yeah, maybe,
perhaps. All right,
I'm quite accepting of the idea that you decide that this supply risk is too high.
Yeah,
you look around. Yeah. You look around in the where you actually are right now, and like the blood striders, the things that you fought, are kind of like praying mantises. So they've got these long chitinous arms with these sort of jagged catch points to hold prey, and a sharp point at the front. You could very well just take an arm with you and stab things with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Do
I'm
it.
gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
wrap
So
something so that I don't hurt my hand.
Okay, so in how quickly we descend to a post-apocalyptic view moment,
I'm
Eos,
thinking we
you saw
dress,
the arm off
yeah.
this thing with a dagger that Verlof lends you because he's actually got one.
Yeah.
And you saw the arm off, and now you're armed. You've got this
Exactly.
spiky, chitinous, speary
Excellent.
thing in your hands,
All right.
and you're ready to wield it.
Well, he's literally armed. He's ripped a Mantis's arm off.
Yes,
He's
I'm
ripped
armed.
a Mantis's arm off.
I'm armed.
They're
Very
armed.
nice. Very nice. Very nice,
He's armed.
Pete. I like that, Pete.
All right, hold on. I've got to give you
The best joke you get out of here all night.
Now Thomas is going to give me something. I'm going to get
There's
arm.
I've literally got blunt instrument under
That's
improvised weapons.
Excellent.
So,
Throw it on for me.
but I'm actually thinking of giving you. Do I have spear? Oh, I do. There you go.
Throw me spear.
You've kit bashed a spear. Can I get
Awesome.
actually? Can I get
Roll.
or someone? Can someone roll? This is awesome. Can someone roll for me? Does anyone have a talent that would assist them in making a spear? I don't think anyone
yes.
does. Oh, you
Jury
do.
rig.
Oh, you've got jury rig. This is
Yes,
Of
awesome.
course,
Why
Oh,
is it?
I'll
jury
make
rig.
it for you.
Why is it the
Oh,
person who
jury.
always fails their rolls, though?
What about sleight of
Yeah.
hand?
No, it's definitely jury rig.
Jury rig.
He's wrapping
Oh,
cloth
okay.
around the base of it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
Ah.
It's a good day.
There's a success
It's
there.
a good day. Okay, so in a
The only
moment
success
of
he's rolling all
insanity.
night.
All right, so yeah, that's it. We've used them all up. They're gone. We've used up all the successes that we're going to get. When did we use
Well,
them?
that's
it.
we'll make
Not
it this
rolling
week.
anymore.
I'm sure it's
A
going to be
success
worth
for
it.
a friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheers, Ashmira.
I'm thinking we could dress you up in carpusses and you can just crawl ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
I was thinking
so
using this stuff as armor.
Yeah.
you are now equipped with a spear. I have given you the
Thank
spear.
you. Thank you. Generosity.
All right, that's genuinely no, it's awesome. I love the image of your character now. It's like shit. We don't have enough supply for these guns. They use all this energy.
And
We
I
need
have
a
been
weapon.
I've been obsessed with supply. That's why I stayed in the ship. I was obsessed with supply. You bastards
What you
going as a
were.
group. All right.
And then you see this shiny chitinous arm with sharp, jagged points and a pointy front end, and you go, and you look at yourself. You're all shiny. You've got all that going on, and you go, "This spear actually works."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
took
after
your-
having made the spear,
But a mop and a jagged.
yep.
Keys.
Combined a stick with a sharp, pointy end. Yep.
I mean, I really
Classic
am
spear
useless.
technology.
I should. Okay, so the rules are that if you
And gaffer tape. And
Yes,
gaffer tape.
yes, if we are down some members, we assume someone else's role. So what are the roles that are missing now?
Good question. I can't.
I
remember
don't know
roles
what
people had.
I know that Matt had the bird.
Yeah. So he's got the bird. Oh, Verlof is the guard.
So
So-
with my
Okay.
with my
And Yasina was the scout.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I will guard.
Well, no.
I mean,
so,
I can be-
so Verlof will still have guard duty. They've got.
Oh, okay. All
they've
right.
got-
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll,
They're
I'll
still with
continue
you.
to be the archivist,
Yeah. All right. So archaeologist.
archaeologist.
Onwards so I can blow something up.
Exactly. Can we get the first successful delving roll from Esmira,
I
who's
know
on
you
a
jinxed it.
roll?
No, we can't.
Who's on a roll right now?
It's agility, right?
Delving. It's oh god now you're
Believe
asking. Now you're asking me to remember the
It's got,
rules. You
Yeah,
want?
I can't remember.
Insight, mate. No, that's Justina.
Delve.
Uh,
Rolls for agility, modified by talents and/or equipment.
Let's make sure you're using your
Okay.
talents.
Do you have any equipment I can use? Maybe my climbing gear?
Yeah, why not? I think that sounds legit. Yep. Yep, you're
So
clambering
that's
over dead bodies and various other things. Go for it.
so that's 2 bonuses.
Yes!
Yay!
Oh my god.
She doesn't fall down the shaft.
She doesn't fall down the shaft. She moves along. It's beautiful. Nothing happens. No, I'm only kidding. No, well, actually, am I kidding? Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. All right. So you've come out of this blight-free space. You can see just ahead, indeed, you can see just ahead, a more intensive sort of growth of these red vines and leaves just ahead of you. There's and you will recall that earlier you stood on one of the seed pods and this sort of burst of heat came out of it, which made you deeply uncomfortable. You can now see that they're all sort of spraying out this kind of genuine haze, and it is actually getting harder and harder to you're sort of covered in, like you've come out of the safe space where you'd actually taken off your helmets and breathed in some fresh air, which is how you were able to rest. But now you're back in it, and sweat is now pooling around your face. There's haze directly in front of you. There's a feeling that the whole space is heating up, sweat pooling. Can I get a... Unfortunately, it is, I think... Oh, no, maybe not, actually. Hold on. Sorry, let me just open up the sheet again. No, it kind of is, actually, unfortunately. Oh, no, actually, archaeologist time. Hey, archaeologist, you've got a treat with this, buddy. Got a treat with this whole haze. There's this stuff moving around it. What's the perfect answer for getting through this space is the question I have for you.
So I am using archaeological knowledge?
You are.
Mhm.
You are. Well, you're using your knowledge of the blight and the way it grows and other things to sort of try and treat with what's
Okay.
going on.
So this is logic.
Yep.
Get a +1 to my roll.
And I mark out dangerous places that you should avoid.
And I
Nice.
do succeed.
Okay. So, hey, it's Jed. Hey,
It's
Jed.
Jed. Just when I deleted
Hey,
Jed,
Jed.
Jed appears.
I apologize.
No, all good, man.
You're
We're
here.
just
That's
rolling
awesome.
on. Very cool. You did miss, however, Eosop's sudden realization that they don't have enough equipment, or rather, they're too dependent on supply using equipment, and so they are now carrying a bloodthirster strider drinker arm attached to the end of what was a mop as a spear that was jury rigged by a smearer so that they've got a weapon that doesn't use supply when they go to fight. Can't hear me. I just gave them the whole story. Oh no, you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yes. So it was most fun. And you've started to move through the space. And the good news is that Esmira, in a moment of absolute genius, has managed to handle the delve for success. For success. Exactly. That's exactly the response we were expecting.
Awesome.
And Eosop has proposed a workable solution for handling the sort of haze and the mist and the illusions that you're now seeing. But just to make it clear, you're all starting to feel this, sweat pooling in front of your eyes. It's getting hotter the further or the deeper you go into the ziggurat. And you've got these big, heavy delving suits on. Even the light ones are still basically, 18th century diving suits. So it's getting harder to perceive things. So just for awareness, you're all at -1 on perception, unless you want to take your helmets off.
Don't think that's a good
No.
idea.
No, okay, right. The rules specifically say the players can choose to take their helmets off to remove that -1 to their perception. So I'm giving you the very real option of making that choice with the full knowledge that there was literally no chance you were going to do it. All right.
I have the talent endurance, which are good for resisting vacuum, suffocation, and cold, but not heat. It seems.
But not heat. What is that? Well, no, I think heat would be fair. I think it would be fair for heat to be affected by that as well, for what it's worth. All right, but you're approaching an area of dense blight, which you can see directly in front of you with the little 1 symbol. And preparing for the push through the blight. Luckily, at that very moment, Verlof appears from the back of the group going, "What, you started without me?"
Now, we do need to reduce. Supply for that.
You do. You need some. Now, I think we just agreed we'd just do round robin going forward for the 1 supply per travel. Yep. So, Eosop, just because you are literally on the top left-hand corner of my screen,
it is gone.
You shall be the first. Done. You shall be the first.
12.
All right. 12. Tick, tick, tick. By the way, if you fail a delving roll, it's 2 supply. Dus.
Page 214 for those at home.
All right. So you prepare yourselves for the big push through this section of intense blight. And Asmira, it's time. Go for it.
Yep. I also ask Verlof to look for signs of the other crew.
Yep.
I think you're the one who can find things, but
Yeah, I get a bonus for my investigation.
Yep.
So you can keep your eyes open or peeled, and I will...
Just to say, actually, before you. Well, no, make the delving roll, please, and then we'll worry about it.
2.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow!
you beauty.
Look at that.
It works.
It's Matt. It's all the birds' fault. It's Matt.
I'm going with the instruction manual like this and reading. And
Delving for dummies.
Okay.
Delving
You're
for
right
dummies,
on the edge of the shaft. You can see that small, deep, angled shaft just down below you, pointing down. You can see all this vine growth coming up through the central shaft and spreading out. It's very clear to you now that a lot of the growth is coming from inside the ziggurat, a comment made earlier. So that shaft is definitively getting thicker with stuff the further down you look. You can also look up and just see the glittering entrance above you. Can I get, first of all, everyone to make resist blight rolls with their delve, with their suits?
Uh-oh.
It's 1 point of damage, so... And I'll roll for Matt while the rest of us do this, and then we'll deduct the 2 points of supply.
It's blight.
And then...
It's blight.
Yes, it's blight. It is blight. Oh, look. Oh, my God. Wow. No. I need to roll for Yasina. There we go. And it's blight. Nope. Sorry, Yasina. Lose a heart.
Me too.
Yep.
Me too.
So if you fail the roll, it's only 1 point of blight at this point, so you just take the single point of heart damage. And Attila and then Verlof, can you each reduce 1 point of supply for having successfully moved through that zone?
Yep.
Who's
So
reduced?
you basically hack and claw your way through this thick growth. There's sap and sort of this the plants almost, well, they definitively feel alive. They kind of writhe as you hack away at them. They release this steam that we talked about earlier that's heating up the zone. And Attila and who else failed?
I feel
And
Jacina.
Asmira are both sort of, covered by this stuff, and you can see that your suit's taken these little small cuts now, and the stuff is sort of, some of the sap is leaking through the suits and onto your skin. It burns in this kind of caustic sort of burn. And yeah, you make it to the edge of the shaft. Now can I get a investigation roll from our good fellow Verloff, who has a whole stack of things in front of them?
Or is this like a perception roll?
Investigation, yeah, or
Talent?
you can use. I'm
It's a
happy.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a talent, but it adds to. I think it should add to perception in this case. Yeah, that's fine.
See, and this is based on. It's asking me to select an attribute. So is that based on perception?
Yeah. Okay. No.
Nope.
No. Make your own choices. Gonna give you a hint for something, but machine says no. And I assume you're not pushing that.
No, I'm more freaked out by the writhing tendrils of the vines
Exactly.
that surround us, crawling
All
on my
right.
leg.
Where would you like to go?
I guess we're going down and not up.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we should clear the upper part of the temple first before going down, but at the same time, the people we're
We have
looking
limited
for
supply.
maybe further in.
Yeah, let's
We have limited
Yeah,
supply, so we
that's my
can't
thing.
fart around too much.
yeah, sorry, Captain, but
Yeah, let's just go. Let's just go further in.
We could
Now-
take that way out because I think it's closer to.
Hmm.
It's faster.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So
I like that
Captain-
you
idea.
can check that room the last. So, but then you can see it splits
yeah.
or forks down there. Should we go straight down or
Hmm.
what do you think? We have a room there. Maybe we should take the branching.
So
Check
I'll
that
just
room.
Perhaps.
I'll just give you partially to remind Jed. So this is what you could see
Okay.
when
so
you
we
did
can
the
see that
scan.
room. It looks
Yeah,
like
we
that
should-
room
So I think-
continues down too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yep, there's a faint hint of a tunnel going down, a
so I
shaft
think
going
we take
down.
we
It
take
looks
the
like
branch.
looks like the
Head-
shaft down below the branch is
This
blocked.
is- Yeah, there's
Right
something
below.
going on there.
Yeah.
But let's
Like we may have no
Let-
choice.
let's go
Let's go
directly
this way.
here. Yeah.
If you just use a flashlight or something to shine down the shaft, can we see if something's blocking it or is it just too much blight?
It's quite intense levels of blight, but you can make a. I'll happily let someone, or all of you for that matter, make a perception roll. Do you have a torch or, like a properly identified item as a torch? I mean, you've got
Electric
little
lantern.
headlamps. You've got little
All right.
headlamps on your delving suit that are sort of built into the delving suit, so you can see, sort of in front of you. But for
Okay.
reasons of supply, they're not massively. They're low energy lamps.
I have a
I
cunning
have an emergency
plan.
flare.
No, no,
you've
don't-
got an
don't
emergency
worry.
flare. You could.
So
Oh, no.
the intellectual interrupts and says, I have a magnifying glass. Let's put it up against your helmet and see if it makes it bigger.
Hold on. What is this madness you speak of, sir?
This magnifying
Okay.
glass.
So I have this definitive image. So who are you getting to be the
Oh,
lamp?
Ashmira. Ashmira, because she's in front.
Okay, so
I have a cutting torch. Maybe that will light up if I.
Well, let's try this first instead of using the supply.
okay,
Right.
so Ashmira bends the head over into the shaft, and you then sort of standing next to them hold the magnifying glass in front of the lamp to make it brighter and get a beam of light going down.
Yeah,
Look, I'm
yeah.
sold. It's if nothing else, this delve is proving more than mildly entertaining.
We must be
Okay,
careful not.
We're all dead, aren't we?
Let's
Yeah,
not burn
pretty much.
anything.
Yeah.
Not as
Yeah,
hot as
exactly.
this
We
moment.
must be careful not
Ashmira,
to.
can you make? You've got the best view. So the
Right.
way I'm going to run this is, and I think you do get a number of bonus die. You're getting a bonus die from Eosop, who's also sort of looking over the side, I'm assuming, at this point while doing it. So that's a bonus die for assistance. Then you're also getting, how many dice does the magnifying glass normally grant?
1.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you've got 2 bonus die to your perception roll as you
Right.
sort of look down into this dark, heavily dense shaft. And yes,
Oh my God.
and yes.
It was that extra power.
So you look down, and what you can see is, yeah, there's more shafts below you coming off the central shaft, but there's also it looks like the tunnel has collapsed in on itself, like probably 15 meters down. I'm just making an assumption that each of these squares is 10 meters for the sake of this conversation. I'm probably actually, let's say it's, that sounds too small. Let's say it's 30 meters down. That makes more sense. So I've now ruled officially that each boxes is roughly 20 meters as a made up number. So about 30 meters down, you can see that the shaft has collapsed in on itself and looks definitively blocked. There are also, though, because you've made that roll, 2 smaller shafts entering into the main shaft on your side. So on the side that you're currently standing on, looking down, you can see these 2 smaller shafts coming into it. But the biggest, most obvious shaft now is definitively this one that you can already see.
We'll go that way, I think.
Okay, now the blight is getting more intense here. Not a problem for, well, a huge problem. So you string your climbing gear. So you string your climbing gear across the shaft, get everyone loaded up, and sort of try and rappel across. Can I get a delving roll? And then I'm going to ask for a burrow roll from Attila, who I think is the burrower.
Yep, that's me.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yep. So you only use up 1 supply. So Esmira, I think it's your turn to take the supply
Right.
hit.
I take one.
What talent would I be using? What skill would I be using?
Well, this is all about sort of stringing up this whole arrangement to sort of come across and cross this and get the blight and get through this heavy, dense growth of blight that's sort of blocking the tunnel entrance. Up to you.
So
How do you want to clear it?
strength, rip it apart.
Okay, so you're sort of going in first. You've swung across on this giant pendulum rope. You've got what, a pickaxe or a shovel or something to hack your way through
I
it?
have, yeah, the pick.
Okay, so using the pick, you're sort of clearing your way through this thick growth. Can you make a strength roll for me, please, with the pick bonus, which I think is maybe even 2
2.
dice? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
so
There you go.
all these vines and other things, you just strip them right out of the way. You can now see down deeper into the shaft, and you can see that it enters that room that you were expecting it to enter. There's a large hall below you. Can you see? What can you see? Sorry, I'm just going to read. I just want to read 1 second. Okay, no, that's perfect. Okay. You can actually see this kind of very faint light coming out of there. And it's not red. It's not the sort of blight, sort of phosphorescence that you've been seeing, or photoluminescence that you've been seeing to date. It looks much more like a sort of little lamp or something. There's a signs of light down there. Now, it's 2 blight people, so can I get delving rolls? Sorry, not delving. Can I get you to all make your suit rolls, please? And once again, I will roll for Yasina,
Should my suit only have 1?
Is it a light
black
delving
protection?
suit? No, it should have.
No, it's standard.
Okay, it should have 5.
Yeah, I
5,
thought that
okay.
something was wrong because what he took before, he had only rolled 1 dice.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, I'm happy to change it.
Well, do change it. It's 5 dice.
Where is it?
And actually,
Go with that.
allow me to just roll quickly for the last roll, where you would have got a success, so you can get that heart that you lost last time back.
Okay, cool.
So we
We're
lose
just going to
2
do
heart.
this for now.
Yes, this is a 2 blight attack. So if you fail, you suffer the full amount. If you get 1 success, you only suffer 1. Now, at this point, the bird. Oh well, you might want to.
Yeah, we need to use the bird.
Yeah. So.
And we lose a supply, right?
Yeah, but we already did
Okay.
that. Asmira did that already,
Yep.
or at least
Oh,
I
okay.
suggested
Oh,
it.
okay. All right.
I
Okay.
did.
Mitigate 1.
Okay.
Sorry,
There you go. Do you want me to just change your suit up?
yes,
well?
please. I was doing that just quickly.
Let me go. Yeah, that's weird. That should not be the case. Okay, I'll just fix that suit, which apparently I have to fix over here. Yeah, super weird. Okay. 5. And what's the armor rating? Yeah, it's 3, right? Yeah, for the standard
Yeah.
building suit. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, there we go. You should now, if I go back to your overview, does it say?
Yeah, it says 5 on here.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So for those who are using the VTT, just remember you have to change it in the item list, not in the front list. Okay, all right. So there's signs of something like human engagement or something similar just ahead of you. You can now send our buddy. Let me just check out the bird.
Turok, isn't it?
Turok.
Turek?
Yeah, let's go send Turok. That bird.
Now, what you could do,
Turek.
noting that you haven't had a chance to do this, and without Matt, I've been restraining it. So you got 2 choices. I'll give you guys the choice, a vote, if you will. You could actually use it to clear the blight ahead of you. So you could actually reduce the next load of blight by trying to get the bird to sort of just cleanse all blight from an area for 1 shift. Which would allow you to move through a zone without taking any blight damage. Or you can use the bird to explore ahead of you and show you what is in front of you.
Blight.
Blight.
Blight? Asmira? Erlof?
Yeah, light sounds good.
Scout. No, I'm downvoted, so.
You are. All right, so it's an insight roll, I'm pretty sure, to get the bird to do what you want it to do. Do we have any talents that help with that? No, because
Because that's not how we play.
That's not how you play.
No.
Exactly right. Okay.
We play to have fun, not metagame.
Why would we
Exactly.
have our characters geared up for this?
We
But
play to
yet-
die.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yet, the bird swings ahead of you, and in the zone you're about to enter, does this huge. Basically, what happens is it sort of flies down the shaft, and then as it reaches the bottom of the shaft, it opens up its wings as wide as they can and scintillates with color and light, and this shining bright light comes off the bird, and you see all of the vines kind of wither and burn away as it sort of blasts this bright energy all through the zone. So yes, that zone that you're about to enter no longer has a blight rating.
Nice.
Excellent.
But that'll be for the next roll, not for this roll. So with that in mind, can I get Asmira once again to make the roll?
Let's delve deeper into this.
Still deeper.
Onwards and downwards.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Yes,
Now we're on a
again.
roll. Look at that.
Success alley. Look at that.
Oh, and they
Yeah,
said it wouldn't happen in
beauty.
my lifetime. Okay,
sending
I
you-
will reduce supply from Matt's character, as they are the next person in the row, which I have now done. And you find yourselves in this zone. So you look around you. There's a large hall as wide as it is deep. It's airless. There's high ceilings. You're sort of entering into the zone. You can see that there's all of this sort of dried out, withered blight around you. There's a camp light sort of down right below you. So you've entered into the zone. Just below you, there's a camp light on the floor. You're all sort of dangling, on your climbing gear, ready to drop down. You've got pitons and auto-release things all sort of hanging onto the edge, and you're sort of scaling down the side of this wall. Like I said, it's 20, 30, well, actually 40 meters high, so you can barely see below you, and just below you is this sort of faint glow of this camp lights, this little battery powered thing that's deliberately low energy. There's beds or something that looks like they would have been beds or other things sort of scattered around this space. And you can see there are sort of some boxes and some big crates and other things scattered around it. So that's what you're dropping into. You can also see as you glance around the other side, and you can, as predicted by Verloff, there seems to be a small side shaft coming off that, which leads to another room or something, and may take you down deeper into the space itself.
And
Okay.
there's no other signs of life or death in the room.
Not that you can see. So you drop down, you drop all the way down through the darkness onto the ground. So I'm going to assume you get here basically. And the reason I'm doing that, at least in part, is because conceptually, if you were just doing straight travel, you would actually be doing an angled descent down into this box here. So for the sake of conversation, we'll just pretend that that's what's happening from a mechanics perspective. So it doesn't cost you an extra supply. So you're now standing around this room or this space. You look, those vines had grown everywhere, and in 3 of the beds are these husks of people, withered and dried out, flaking flesh falling off them. Even as you move the air around, sort of you see the skin sort of puff free and sort of start to float around in the atmosphere around you, and you think, there's a lot of dust in this space. I wonder if this is just what was left. And with that realization, you all get a despair 2 effect. Can I get you all to make a resisting despair, which I'm pretty sure is an empathy roll? Says bravely without being absolutely certain because he really should.
Yeah, disheartened is what's attached to it.
Disheartened.
Yeah. So, yep, that's the one. Can I get empathy rolls, please? Okay, no.
Nope.
Nope.
Now, for some reason,
One for me.
it doesn't give any conditions on renown, but it does say that I can push my roll based on empathy. So,
Okay. Sure. Go for it.
So, and
I mean, if you want to.
I don't need to, but yeah, I don't need to say to the dust, do you know who you're dealing with?
Exactly. So everyone who got 1 success takes 1 point of hope damage. Anyone who made 2 successes takes zilch. 0, nada, none.
Oh, man.
And I guess I take 2 then.
Indeed, you do.
Oh, no. This is scary. Nasty.
Nasty, exactly. Well, you're not the only one. As Matt burns 2 hope. Now, okay, so these bodies are horrible and desiccated. There's clear signs of damage, and I'm just going to go and just, while I think about that, what would you guys like to do? Just while I quickly check the rules and make sure I just did that right, because I've realized I haven't read the rules since the last time we played, and
See if there's
still
any
learning
supply
it.
here.
I'm looking for supply. I'm going
Okay.
into
Yeah.
the boxes and stuff like that.
Some, maybe some clues on what has happened.
No, I had it right. It was empathy. Okay.
let's
So
find
some
some
of you are
supply.
checking out for supply.
Mhm.
Some of you are searching the room to work out what's happened.
Yeah.
All right. So supply person. So Attila, can you roll 2d6 for me, please? As you open up, lever up all these crates and other things, and do find some additional batteries and air tanks and other things in there.
Roll that.
Okay, you find 7 points of supply that you can distribute around the group.
Lovely. So
Or that you yourself can
7.
just load up while everyone else
Yeah.
is busy doing other things. I mean, you know,
I
you
feel
found
kind
it,
of
Attila.
bad about. I feel kind of bad about doing that. So perhaps I'll share it around the group.
Wow, very generous. Okay.
But
Who gets the 1 point?
He's a mensch of a captain.
what supply is everybody on?
I'm on 12.
Yeah, pretty much
I'm
everyone.
also on 12.
Yeah.
14.
You're 14.
Yep. I got some extra supplies from the shuttle.
Okay. Right. So since you've got the
crashed one.
most, you can take the 1, and we'll take 2 each. The rest of us.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
All right, I'll put 2 back onto Yasina, so they are now supplied up.
When we get a chance, I'm going to be using my my book, my book of poetry to kind of relieve myself of or give myself a boost in. I imagine it's hope that I get. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Is that what the keepsake's for?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the bullet with my name on it and sort of recover a little bit as well. Like today's not the day. You've got the bullet with your name on it, remember?
Now, noting that the bird has cleared the area of blight, you can actually rest in here for a whole scene if you want, but you have to set up a delving camp again.
And that
I mean, we
costs
just can't. Just
supply.
Yeah, it'll cost
Mhm.
1 point of supply to set up the camp.
We're in good enough shape to be able to go down some more, aren't we? Is
I
anybody
think so.
desperate?
No.
I'm pretty low on
Okay,
hope,
all
but
right,
that's all.
perfect.
How low on
What are
hope
you
We're
low
gonna
on this
search-
mirror?
Hope.
Hope. Okay.
But I can manage, I think.
I'm gonna search for clues.
I mean, if you think so.
That's
Okay.
all right. But some clues, maybe
Yep.
Verlof is
Mm.
the
Verlof,
investigator, and I
are
can
you
help.
helping
Or...
Verlof search Esmera? Eosop,
absolutely.
you were recovering, so that's fine. I think we'll get Yasina to use their little thing, giving them back 1 hope as well, which they do. That's very nice. All right. Roll a investigate roll for me, please, investigator.
Okay, and I got a +1 bonus.
Yep,
So-
from the assistants.
Okay.
Yep.
1
Okay.
success.
Okay, this is definitively these. There's clear signs of, there's black toad sort of markers and symbols in various places. Like, you've clearly found the sort of camp of the black toad operatives who were working in the ziggurat. You're not sure what's going on with the bodies, but your best guess is some new blight effect that you've not previously read about has sort of sucked the life out of them in some way. There's these because you'd burnt away most of the blight, it's a little bit hard to tell, but the vines do seem to have been growing over the bodies in some way. So it's possible that they were sort of caught up. And by the way, you can also hear coming from that shaft to your sort of to the side, something can hear a sort of sound, like a energy sound or something like that.
Before
Nasty
we
way for him to go.
yeah, before we
I'm kind
investigate,
of glad we're in camp here.
yeah. Before we move on, I just want to check some of my notes from the library to see if I discovered anything about this particular type of blight. Can I use librarian to see if I've researched this, or is this
You can have a go. Yep. You can have a
logic?
go to understand, more about the blight. Yep. Okay, 1 success.
Is it something relatively new that was written about? Is it something that
No, it's so. In most cases, the blight sort of like the blight infects bodies, and blight damage is definitively the sort of corruption of the body, for want of better language, by the blight. Like, people eventually become blight twisted or blight mutated, and it's not pretty. Although you've read stories of people getting superpowers from being affected by the blight, but of course you don't believe in that silliness. This is unusual in that it's almost like the blight was feeding on the bodies. So when you have a really hard look, there's a clear sign that some of the vines have been, in effect, burrowing into the bodies, and that sort of lack of flesh and fats or liquids of any form sort of feels kind of like somehow the blight's been doing something to feed on the bodies directly.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice.
All right, with the extra supply in your backpacks, very generously and very reasonably distributed by Attila, you can see some more light coming out of that shaft directly in front of you. And as noted, there's a sort of low humming sound coming from there as well.
Let's have a little
Once
look.
again,
See.
that light is not the sort of phosphorescent sort of red color of the blight. It's more than that. It's something else.
Since we're
There's only one
constant,
way to find out what it is.
yeah. Well, do
Yep.
we have like do any of us have an idea like that it would be a generator or something that we would be used to, or is it a different sound?
No, it definitively is or could be a generator. Like it's that
Okay.
sort of
Okay.
that sort of sound. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Let's have a look.
I'll take point.
All right.
Oh, wow. Go
Oh,
wow.
whoa.
Get in there, my son.
Just getting bigger and bigger.
Okay,
Three.
so I don't know, Asmira, you all get this kind of train sort of thing running and you just basically sprint through the space, very confident
way.
with that light showing you where you need to go and lighting up the space. For the first time, you're not just dependent on the little, sort of delving lamps. It's like it's all just well illuminated. You go racing ahead, 1, 2, 3, you drop down into this room. Once again, there's that deep shaft going down. On the as you sort of leap, sort of race ahead, you drop your pittons, you're on this run, you over the side, you look down, and you can see computer terminals. Sort of, and there's on the ground floor, and there's these shelves and like sort of metal shelves that people have put in, so of human construction, to be clear, like temporary shelving, with jars and glass storage facilities going up the walls. As you sort of descend down, you can literally see right in front of you, floating in some of the glass jars, are little bits of blight sort of contained within each of the jars in a liquid suspension. With your deep knowledge of drug manufacturing, which you do actually have as a group, you'd say this is part of the sort of steps through to creating a type of dust, not dissimilar to the orchid dust, but different. What's probably most important is as you're descending down, you look down into this space, which is now reasonably well illuminated. It's low light, but it's still illuminated light. You can see the computer terminals are glowing with these orange screens of the terminal light coming out. There's these two sort of small camp lights kind of illuminating the space. Most importantly, there's two figures, human figures wearing sort of not quite blight suits, but something similar to that, sort of crawling around, not crawling around, moving around the space, looking over the terminal, tapping it with their hands, going around to other things. And as you descend, they seem to be paying you very little to no attention. You might have the drop on them. Can I get a blight roll, however, as you travel through the blight zone before you do that?
Excellent.
Blight 2, to be clear.
Ooh.
Oh, only 1 this time. Okay, cool. All right. If you made no successes, take 2 blight. If you made 2 heart damage. If you made some successes, take less. Oh, 1 person got a success. Okay. All right. So the blight is getting dark, is denser here than you've seen it so far. As noted, the 2 figures are sort of down there on the ground floor. As you drop down amongst them, what do you do?
We are friends, right?
Right.
We're here to help them.
Exactly. I mean, you're definitely friends. There's no way you're anything other than friends.
Do they have
Yeah,
any?
100% we're friends.
Do they
Yeah,
have any
like-
identifiers on their suits, like part of the Black Toad?
Yeah.
You kind of implied that they were wearing something different from kind of normal delving gear. Is that correct?
They are too. Well, they're wearing masks. They're sort of they're wearing some clothing, yeah, but it's not like a full delve suit. Like that's not what they're wearing. But they are wearing masks and other things. They look. I mean, you are pretty sure they're Black Toad. Like, I mean, it's unlikely they're anyone else at this point.
Okay.
So yeah,
Fair.
make of
The
that what you
question
will.
is, after a couple of months in here, they should be at minus 200 heart.
That's right.
They should be. That is
Yeah.
correct.
So either they are mutants or, well, we should be careful at least.
Only one way to
Alright.
find out.
So you drop down onto the ground, for want of better language. They're there, they're tapping away at this keyboard. As you
One
drop
question-
down amongst them or to one side of them, I assume you drop down on one side, they're on the other side of the workbenches and other things, you sort of all suddenly appear. They stop what they're doing and look up at you.
A question:
Yeah.
Do they have beds and stuff here, or do they sleep up by the corpses, or
There's no
don't
sign
sleep?
of any beds.
so they don't sleep or sleep by their?
I turn to Verloff
shriveled
and I say, double
friends.
tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. Just
Gun them
double tap.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
Okay.
drop to one knee and have my carbine up.
Okay.
Awesome,
All right.
awesome.
So you're ready to rock and roll, as they say.
As they say.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. Or yep. Okay, they look at you. They've stopped doing whatever they were doing. They're just standing there watching you.
Okay.
Can I
I'm
get
looking-
perception rolls, and can I remind you all that you're all currently at -1 to perception?
Right, that's. Can I use my talents lookout for approaching threats?
As much as I hate to give away a hint, you absolutely can roll your add your talent for what if they weren't friendly. Oh, look at this! All of you people just smashing.
No,
Yeah,
no.
can't
Wait,
resist
I've only got
it.
2
You
dice.
can't
I've only
resist the
got 2
blight for
dice.
shit, but it turns out you're
Yeah,
very, very
no.
aware of damage.
He
of
also
risk.
doesn't see it, but we do.
I see nothing.
Whatever. What are you people
like-
talking
Wait,
about?
Yeah.
Turn
Wait,
around,
I'm,
yeah,
turn
I'm
around,
looking.
Jason.
I'm looking at the claw in my hand, trying to figure out which way it goes forward. What am I supposed to do?
Stick 'em with the pointy end of your sock.
Oh, the
They're just like your
end.
worst nightmare, like a really tough audience,
Yeah. That's completely. That's
just
beautiful.
staring at you.
Just staring at you. It's like all of your worst nightmares of your slam poetry sessions. You know, just come out. This
But
dead
I
audience.
spent 10 minutes explaining why I wrote this.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares. All right. They have this kind of waxy sheen to their faces that you can see above the mask, but perhaps most importantly, they have this kind of vine-like growth growing over the sort of over their faces. It's not completely covering it, but there's this kind of red tracing all the way through their face going up from the mask, and you can only assume below the mask there's a lot more of that, but you can see some of it sort of just above and going up over their faces and into their hairline.
How many
No
are there?
use talking to them, is it?
2. There are
Oh,
2 of them.
Okay. I thought there was like a crowd.
No, there's just the 2.
Careful with the computers.
I look
I
at the
love the way
captain.
it's like
Yeah,
Ashmira
yeah.
instantly goes to, we're going
Me
to kill
too.
them, but can
Yeah,
you just keep the
Ashmira-
computer?
I mean, yeah, they're
No, I'm
being
like
mind controlled or something.
Ashmir's right. Ashmir's right. I need to get to the computers.
I think.
Are
But
there
yeah,
computers in
you
our
do
line
keep-
of fire?
They
in your line of
in effect,
fire?
yeah, they definitely are. You're
yeah.
on one side of.
Let's
You're
all
on one-
rotate like 90 degrees and see if they move as well until the computers are not behind them.
Are you gonna try and maneuver?
I'm waiting for somebody to give the word.
Yeah,
Captain?
yep. Let's do that.
Okay,
So-
hold
Alright.
on. I'm just
I have-
jumping you all
Yeah.
once again onto the thing so that
I
we've got a
have
sort of-
analyzed the situation, and because I finally analyzed the situation. I am giving Verloff 2 additional base dice for 1 attack.
Who am I missing from the list? Who have I got? I've
I'm
got-
dragging myself out.
Oh yes, but you're dragging yourself all over the shop. Stop doing that. You're flashing. You're shining up other parts of the map, which I'm not actually that keen on you doing.
Oh, sugar. Sorry.
There's 2 of
That's
you.
all right.
Oh. There
Yes, because I dragged
Oh,
most
okay.
of you on.
So
That's
he's
on my
being
fault.
dragged all over the place.
I'll-
Okay, there we go.
I'll just stop
There you go.
doing. I've removed that. Thank you. And I'm only missing Ashmira, who I'll also drag on to the map. Well, since that section is kind of illuminated now, I might as well just dump you there. All right. Don't move your sheet. Don't move your tokens. You don't need to.
Oh, don't move. Okay.
Well, it's not a
All right.
combat map. You're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just to
My
get your
bad.
things on.
Sorry.
Things. Oh, that's all right. It is all right, by the way. That's completely fine. I just realized I was watching you do it. All right. So they see you, you see them. You're on your knee, Verloff, ready to unload. You're waiting for the word. And then you go, maybe we could sort of try and maneuver them so that I'm not shooting through the terminals. And that's where we paused. So what are we doing, people?
Well, the captain said, "What's the word, Captain?" The
Try
captain
not to.
said, yeah.
Try not to shoot the computers.
Okay. Well, have I been spinning around aiming? Does that give me a bonus?
We weren't doing anything else, so I will absolutely let you aim. Yes.
Okay.
And
Although
I
I
got
don't
plus-
think you can aim an auto fire. I have an
Okay,
opinion
that makes
about
sense.
aim and auto fire,
But,
which is
Okay.
that seems a bit OTT.
But I have given you analyze, so I've given you some advice onto how not to hit the computers, and I give you +2 dice
All
for
right.
just 1 attack.
I just like the idea. I'm like aiming, and then you're like right in my ear, saying like, "Okay, well, like shooting in the head is really good."
Yeah.
So what I'm going to suggest is, I won't do initiative for Verloff, who will be the person who kicks off the combat. But the moment Verloff fires, because you're not a well-oiled military machine with like, okay, we're all going to shoot at the same time, and I've got the guy on the left, you've got the guy on the right. That is not you guys. You guys are definitively the opposite of whatever that is.
I think our plan is get them.
Yeah, Verloff will fire, and then we'll do initiative, which is you guys all
Stick
sort of
'em,
go,
Verloff.
shit, it's on, and drawing weapons. So Verloff,
All right.
what do you want to do?
Full auto. Shoot.
You're full autoing. You're not aiming. You're just gonna let loose.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
weird
perfect.
vine mutant things.
Don't shoot the computers.
Well.
Attila's yelling out, "Don't shoot the computers!" and Verloff goes, click, switches it to full auto.
I've given him all
amazing.
these orders as to how not to hit the computers.
Exactly.
He's
I
just-
know what I'm doing, right?
Exactly.
Almost
Verloff
the
is an
epitome of
expert.
you as a
I
group.
trust in Verloff.
All right.
There could be valuable information on those computers. Money.
Fire, Verloff.
Money!
Fire. Give us everything you've got.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
But I can also use can I use my flank talent?
You can. Yeah. So you're flanking. You've got analyze going off as well.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
like stupid plus dice.
Just
I
stupid
know,
plus
it's
dice.
ridiculous.
Don't say that this game doesn't have enough dice.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Touch wood. Touch wood.
Touch
Don't make
wood.
it
Yeah,
unlucky.
touch wood.
Of
yeah.
course, you can still roll no successes no matter how many
Yeah,
I
dice
know.
you roll.
You always can.
We have seen 15 dice and nothing. Oh my
Oh,
One
you got
success.
one.
We have had one occasion in my group where someone rolled something like 60, 70 dices without a success.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's insane.
My first real role-playing games were all the hero system, which uses a lot of dice.
Yeah.
Particularly if you play the superheroes, which I was. All right,
Yeah.
you Verloff.
I shoot him, but I don't get to a critical threshold, and I guess I
you
don't
do not,
get to
but you
pick
are
any other
firing
targets.
auto fire, which means you can have up to 3 shots if you succeed. So
Okay.
if you get hit, you can roll it forward again. So
I will do so.
hold on,
Oh,
so I get
hit
I'm
the
just going to roll his.
computers.
I'm just going to roll his armor.
Yeah.
Does that? Yep, it does. No, he does not. He does not reduce the damage. So this thing, you sort of spread fire across its chest and head and other things, and this kind of reddish liquid bursts out of it, but it's not blood.
Well, that's what I expected.
Yeah, it's a fair point, but it's not blood.
Okay.
As you're sort of bursting apart this thing, and you can see as you tear across it, the vines sort of bursting out of its body as these sort of rips appear. It's taken, how much damage did that do? 3.
3.
Okay.
3.
Okay, it's definitively still standing.
I'm going to keep shooting it.
Yeah.
So this time, do I still get the +2 from ISO, or is that just on the first attack?
That's just on the first attack, I think. Yeah. Or is it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the in the same
What are
zone
the
plus
exact
2
words?
dice for 1 attack on a specific enemy. Is this
okay?
is this
as
the
long as you
continue?
as long as you don't roll it onto the other guy, like if you try and shoot the
Yeah.
second
Okay.
one, I'll let you keep the 2 dice for the first fire.
Okay. But I don't get the flank anymore, so
Ooh.
Oh,
2
Well, there you go.
successes
That's crit threshold.
Yeah, 4 points of damage though. That's not looking good. Okay, let's see. 3 success. No.
No.
Okay. It doesn't even get to move, and you've sort of torn across the body with this thing, effectively cutting it in half. The bottom half and the top half flop away. But that was definitively another success. Do you want to just continue tracing the fire into the second one?
Yes, but I'm gonna trace it, and then when I get to the computer, I do this, and then over to the other one.
I have
Well
a question
instructed.
here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what happens. Let's see, Jen.
Absolutely. It's absolutely what
So
happens.
here's the thing. In
This is my intention.
In Coriolis, the Third Horizon, and I Will Rule for the Great Dark, you can burn 1 success to do something specky with
it's
your
like a
attack.
stunt.
It's actually explicitly referenced in Coriolis, the Third Horizon, as I show off effectively with my attack. I burn a success to do something tricky. I'm going to allow you, if you want, you can burn 1 success when you roll these dice to get that. I don't trace it across the,
Right.
it's not a
Okay,
straight
cool.
line. It's a,
Love
I'm
it.
like, ah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So if I get any, so what you're saying is if I get any extra successes, I can use that instead of for extra damage to
reduce
specifically
the-
avoid shooting a computer.
Yep.
Okay.
That is what I am
Well,
saying.
I hope that's a decision I get to make.
it's a generous GM.
And no.
One success.
No, it isn't.
So much for
Well,
the
actually,
I tried. I tried.
Hold on.
Shit.
You can use this success to, realizing that you're going to trace it across the computer. You can use the success to avoid the computer, but you will do no damage to the creature.
push.
Push.
Or you could push.
All right, I'll push.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful. Yes, I can feel the hope fading.
Okay. And a second of success.
Damn it. Okay. Oh, was that and it wasn't a gear dice. Oh, damn. All right, so the gun is still fine. All right, so yes, you do exactly what we just you beautifully arc the weapon over the computer and carry it.
It almost
forward.
gets it. I have to like at the last second. Yeah.
Now it only takes 3 points of damage, not 4.
So no crit.
And it's therefore not a crit. Not that.
And I took 1 point of hope damage.
And you took 1 point of hope damage as you came very close to destroying it. Okay.
Yes,
On that note, I think we will just draw some initiative. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, well, Jed, you've already fired. But anyway, I'll put your initiative. Oh, and put you last. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or second last. Okay. Hey, Attila, what do you want to do?
I want to go over to this one that's standing and smack it with my pickaxe.
Perfect. You charge, you leap over the desk in your delving suit. There's this beautiful moment, you're looking at it from the side. There's 2 beams of light shining down on the thing. You've got the pickaxe over your head. This is going to be beautiful. Roll.
I hope.
Classic zombie attack.
And
one success. Which is...
Ooh, I didn't roll its armor against that shot. Sorry, hold on. I just realized I did not roll its armor. Yeah, it didn't help.
It's only 1 damage, though.
Only 1 damage. Okay, you strike it in the sort of shoulder. The pickaxe digs deep into the shoulder blade and down into the body, and all that happens is this vine growth sprouts out of that space and wraps itself around the pick. This could be bad, but we'll see.
Oh dear.
Obviously, Jed, your coiler carbine is now once again empty of rounds and will require love any moment now. Okay, Pete. Yes. What do you guys want Yasina to do?
What equipment does Jacina have?
Jacina has a coiler carbine, I think.
No, we
not
don't.
a coiler, a fusillade pistol. Yep, they've got a fusillade pistol.
Don't
That's what they've
shoot.
got.
Don't shoot. Control the damn bird. Can the bird can the bird
attack? Is that
no? Can the bird search?
Okay, so the bird can do. Okay, yes, the bird can search, but that's not directly relevant to the fight. So
no.
Are you
I don't
getting
think
him to do anything with the fight? Was kind of what I was trying.
I don't think so. I don't think it's fair. But
if it purged blight, would it purge these blighty creatures too?
No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
It can actually launch an attack, but I assume you're not going to risk your bird by throwing it into combat.
No.
Not
All right,
particularly,
so
no.
in which case, it is Eosop's go.
Oh well, I have figured out because Attila has told me where the pointy end is, and I go, take this, and so I am spearing this creature. I don't think that I get anything different, and of course it's strength based.
It is because it's a spear.
I have some choice poems to write about that.
And yep, it works about as well as we expected it actually.
It does. Now, if I push it, it will definitely break.
Oh, well, it'll take some damage.
It will take some
what's
damage.
its bonus? It's got bonus 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be
All
down to bonus 1.
All right. So I'm gonna push the roll.
Awesome.
Yes, on it.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see it.
Get in there. So it takes damage too.
So it takes 2 points of damage. All right. So So I'm imagining you sort of Because Yosop's not exactly the world's best fighter. You're stabbing it, or are you
Yeah,
swinging
I'm
it
stabbing
sideways?
it. I'm stabbing it in the head.
All right, so following Attila's amazing leap, you sort of scrabble. Maybe you dive underneath the table and sort of jam up the spear into its body from below.
Yeah.
Because you're not a jumper. You're a crawler. I mean, let's be upfront. That's just true.
Yeah.
So you spear it up, and there's this cracking sound as the spear tip sort of breaks off, but it breaks off in its body, and sort of you wrench the thing out of its body, and viscous red stuff and vine and other things sort of fall out of the body, but so does part of the spear, which is now half broken, but it's still pointy. So, you've got some pointiness to it, but it's not the beautiful thing that it was before.
But it has
and
taken...
you do think, go.
Yeah, it has taken 2 damage. Isn't that its limit?
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
Well, it gets armor. It gets armor, my friend.
Oh.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I have armor.
Oh, I did not realize this.
Oh, and I had armor against Pete as well, which I didn't roll. Oh! But 2 points. Damn. That's the wrong order of successes. So sad.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Okay, you tear it apart. Yeah, so far the monsters are not proving that tough. Maybe I needed more Kassams. Okay. Yeah, so you don't get to see it do anything. A bit sad, really. All right. There's these 2 dead bodies full of vines and other things and this red stuff, but you've destroyed them. Now, I just will remind you, it's 1 supply to reload your auto fire.
Yep.
I would imagine that if I ask Ashmira to fix my spear, that would mean that it would be another supply.
You would be correct. But also, can I just make sure? Sorry, we didn't apply this. So because you jumped down because you moved 3 squares, you also need to sacrifice 3 supply. And we were back to you, Eosop. So 1 for Eosop, 1 for Attila, and 1 for Verlof, please, in addition to what I just talked about, just to represent the travel.
Good thing we found that extra stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And as soon as I can, I'm going to go to the computer.
Okay. There's a handout. Do I have the handout? I don't know. Do I have the handout?
Ooh.
I may just have to cigarette.
While you're looking up that, I just want to acknowledge all the hours that Thomas spent creating the damage for these black toad replicas, and the and all the all the tables that he worked through, and the fact that he never got to use them.
So sad.
So sad.
So sad.
Tis life as a GM, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's a hard life.
It is a hard life. Okay, unfortunately, I've just realized this is going to be hard for you to read, but I'll just show you all, just because of the way the image went in. Let me see if I can read it for you. Harvest complete, no problems. Harvest inventory less than estimated, a problem. Zakur suggested new formula for successful incubation of Castram pod. Z suggests installing heat fans to increase temperature, will test. Icons be damned, it works. Harvest estimate to be almost 160% size. Hail the toad. 178% increase after Zakur's fans. That rascal will all be rich when we return. Prepare trade for Navigator Emissary. 4 crates ready. Those greedy bastards. Something's off. It's too damn hot. The growth is behaving strange. Then the last message is, get out, get out, get out.
Oh dear. So they tried increasing temperature for a drug crop, and this is why the vines are getting a bit fucky.
The vines
There's a
turned
new
them into dust.
formula.
Yes, yeah, precisely, Verlof. That's what I think happened.
We should not use the new formula.
Yes, don't
No, we
use the new
absolutely should.
formula. Maybe I can tweak
No,
it.
we can perfect it and sell
Yeah,
it.
let me take a look. Let me
I
take a
mean,
look.
These guys didn't know what they were doing, but you, Attila, are an expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
You
absolutely
can
an expert.
You can fix this problem.
I can fix this problem. Absolutely. Let's take more blight onto the shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you've got all these jars.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
They did say get out, get out, get out.
Yeah.
We don't want to get out, do we? Oh,
Nah,
And-
there's stuff to find.
somewhere in the background, I hear Jacina saying, look, they're icon worshippers. See, I told you.
So somewhere down here, there's heaters that are causing this extreme kind of like mutation growth.
Could be.
That's pretty much the
that-
message you just read. So
yeah, let's
yep.
Yeah,
unplug the generator.
Should we turn off
it
the
mentions
heaters?
increasing yield and stuff like that. So maybe.
I'm gonna
Let's,
use.
let's see if the
Go on. Sorry, Pete.
let's see if there's a way to turn off the heaters on these computers if they're still on.
Okay, so
I'm
a
gonna
quick
maybe just.
investigation of the computers, and
Yeah.
like sort of, they're obviously not locked because you can read the message on the screen.
Yeah,
So it's not.
yeah.
They're not password protected because these people have got lazy cybersecurity approaches, and I do not endorse. But a quick search suggests, and helpfully or perhaps unhelpfully, the control. Can you guys see me flashing something? I'm just fascinated to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. And assuming that's partially illuminated for you guys because you did sort of.
My
because we put
bad.
the tokens there. No, that's all right. It's good actually.
I'm sorry.
So you can see the computer is telling you if you want to turn off the heat, you have to go all the way back to that room. Or
Okay.
you can just
Okay,
ignore
so
it and
let
drop
me-
deep
Okay, so
down
can you?
into the shaft.
Okay, so where was the room that we needed to go? That's this one, right?
That's that one. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, at this point, I will also just, because we haven't had Matt here, I will just say one thing you might want to do at this point is send the bird to do a sort of blight scan, which it can do free of charge.
Yep.
To indicate the blight risk that you are now facing.
So which direction would we do that? Do you want to do it towards 8 or towards?
Well, you've sort of already.
Uh,
I mean, mostly you've explored where behind you, so it
go
only
down.
travels a certain number of boxes, zones.
Let's send it down then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Let's send it down.
you can send it down.
Now, after this may be. I can just see Matt saying this would be a good time to use. Doesn't he have a talent where he can ask the GM for some type of direction? Am I
Yes,
right
once
in that?
once per scenario.
I would imagine that this would probably be one of those times.
Yeah, so they can, the exact wording, sorry, I was looking at the bird, but give me 1 sec. Once per session, you may ask the GM to give vague but useful advice. I quote.
I'm not great with coming up with wording, so someone else can come up with a way of asking
No,
something.
it's just you just ask, and I have to give you vague but useful guidance.
Give us
So,
yeah.
go.
Give us vague and useful guidance.
Okay, so the vague and useful guidance is It will definitively burn a lot more supply to go back, obviously, to the control center. Reducing the heat will slow down the growth of the blight. But the trade-off is you'll burn easy an additional 6 or 7 or even 8 supply to do that.
But we have thumbs.
Extra
We have thumbs who can fly over.
Send the bird!
Send the bird, Matt. Send the bird and tell him to turn it off.
So to
Let's
be clear,
not do that.
it will fly. You can control. He can see through its eyes.
Yes,
that's the ability that you would want to use. Where is it? It's literally written here. Bird scouts ahead his companion sees up to a distance of zones equal to twice the number of successes rolled.
Oh.
Let's not. Yeah, no, let's not do that.
No, because we don't want to lose control of the bird and then have to spend 12 supply going after the bird to save it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't doing all that.
Hopefully it just the heater just means it's growing faster, by which we mean like an inch a week or something. Like the crop is faster, but it's not
Yeah, let's just carry on.
crucial.
And
all right. So I'm
hope
going
for
to
the best.
roll for the Garuda device bird scanning effort, which is indeed insight. And does the Garuda device have? No, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure I checked that last time, but I'll just double check. Do Garuda devices add, or do they just let you? Nope, they just let you. Okay, so you're getting 5 dice for this roll. He needs 1 success. He doesn't get it. He has 1-1. Do you want him to push that roll to get a view of what's going on below you? Question for you guys, not for me.
Doug.
Sorry,
Roll a
dog was barking. I think that we should. But what do others think?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay. The roll is pushed to no success. Losing a hope point. Okay. The bird says there's a lot of blight down there. But you don't get any sense of it.
Fantastic.
You do have the deep scanner. Hold on, I'm just going to read the description of the deep scanner. So a feeling that that might give you something similar. And you can roll that. Or you can add that. Deep scanner, deep scanner, deep scanner, deep scanner, deep scanner. No, that's all. Where is the deep scanner? Here we go. Delving, maybe. Nope. Bloody hell.
Ashmira, can you fix
my... Actually, sorry. He's got an additional 3 dice.
Oh.
From the deep scanner. 1, 2, 3. So I'll roll it once, and then I will...
We didn't get any extra minuses. So
no, but he also didn't get any 1s, so...
No.
Hey.
And 2 6s. All right. Okay, sweet as. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so
love it, mate.
You guys are still here, but you can now see all the way down. So the blight is pretty intense down this shaft, but equally you could... Oh, I'm an idiot. Am I an idiot?
Why? Why would you be an idiot?
I'm an idiot. I have been very not too bad there. 1, 2. Technically, with your oh, actually, no, that works. No, I can give myself a pass. I just realized I've actually only been moving you the hexes inside the zones, not the zones themselves. You should actually have moved. You should.
Oh,
you-
so it's been harder
technically,
than it
your
should have been.
Yeah, your success would have gotten you there.
Okay.
Does that have an
So
implication on our supply?
no, because you
Okay.
lose a supply per zone. I've moved
Okay.
you boxes, not. I've
Oh,
moved
okay.
you squares, like as in
Yeah.
movement squares, not
Yeah. Okay.
not other thing. Lesson for the wise at home. Make sure you make the squares as big as the zones so that when you do this, it works better. Okay, that's fine. So you actually made it to there, and it makes no difference to your blight roll because you only roll against the highest blight you encounter in that phase of the delve.
Okay.
So you only suffer one blight effect for the roll. So this is why rolling 3 successes is so good, because you only take one blight hit. You still burn the 3 supply, but you only take one blight hit. Whereas, of course, if you only make 1 success, you're taking 3 blight hits over the same distance. So it's a huge advantage to roll well on the delve.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd have taken, effectively you'd be rolling what, 6 points of heart damage as opposed to 2 to be direct. Now, of course, if you were rolling roll, it wouldn't matter, but the way you guys are rolling your delve, that matters a lot. So actually, you're technically there at the end of your journey, but actually it doesn't really change what you can see down below, so I'm not too stressed about it. I'll just move this here. So that zone below you actually seems, the interesting thing is that zone below you seems mostly free of blight.
Blight-free.
There is one more layer of deep blight ahead of you, though, and it is definitively in your way.
Push through.
Okay, so on that note, you push through. Can I get one last delve roll? I'm saying one last delve roll because
actually, could we? No, that might not make sense because there might be something that blights up the whole area at some point. I don't know.
Yeah,
we could get the bird to de-blight this area for a shift.
You could.
So we don't have to roll against the 3.
That is true. You could. And I should make the point, it's got 2 energy left at the moment because you used 1 energy when you cleanse that blight zone up above you.
3.
The other thing you could also do is actually you could trial the whole tell us what's ahead of us, go and look bit. Or you could save that for when you punch through this bit of blight and then explore the floor. All right. So, actually, sorry, Attila, you have made a suggestion, which is we use the bird to cleanse the blight ahead of us. Is that what you want to do?
It's up to you guys, but I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So, with that in mind, you flip the bird as you drive down. Once again, you're all rappelling down the side of this giant space. And can I get, I'm the one rolling for him, so that'll be a yes. I can definitely get that to happen. An insight roll from Matt. And you need 1 success, Matt. Oh, and you got it.
Come
Okay.
on, Matt. Yeah.
Good session.
I'm not going to lie. I think I'm a better Matt.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's now down to energy 1. But it blasts that heavy chunk of blight directly in front of you and cleanses the zone as you drop into it. At that point, can I get a delving roll, please, to see how much supply you're using? Ooh, okay. Oh, no, you got 1 success. Do you wish to push that delving roll?
Go on, push it.
Okay, I'll push it.
Go on.
Holy hell.
See? Told you
and you lost the hope. But
Yep.
you did 3 successes. So effectively, that's 1. Sorry, I was trying to drag, not highlight. That's 2. And you are there, which means, unfortunately, I was going to sort of pause it in a sec, but that's kind of perfect. All right. So, who took the last supply hit? I think it was you, Jed, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Verlof. Yeah, it was Verlof. So that means that the next person to lose a point of supply is, of course, Yasina. 13. And then can I also get Eosop and Attila to take a point of supply each?
If I must.
You must.
Done.
Boo.
All right. And one last question. I've just realized we didn't actually roll for. You were going to try and get Asmira to repair your spear. We
Yes,
haven't
I
actually rolled for
was.
that.
Absolutely, we need to roll
So
for it.
you've spent a point of supply. You put more gaffer tape on it, but does it hold? Asmira, can you hold this spear together for one more attempt?
Remember, I'm a
I feel it's
miner
important that we know the answer to this question before
because
we
I want to
continue.
mine with this.
My gaffer tape is beginning to run out.
Oh,
It
is
really is
definitively
beginning to
run
run
out. That's a no, but you still spend the supply, also. I assume it's you that's burning the supply.
Yeah, and
for
I'm like,
repairing the spear.
can't you work harder on this? Come on, I really need it.
Do you want
See,
to?
it's broken here. You have to go and fetch another one.
Should have used duct tape. It's like the Force. It has a
holds
light side
everything.
and a dark side, and it holds the universe together.
Okay, so
Go
I
up and
take.
fetch another leg, and I'll fix it for you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm down to 11 supply then.
We've reached the bottom of the thing. Just a small reflection, by the way. When you move fast,
It's a lot easier.
it's very fast. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah. Have I set that up as? Let me just put something in there that will tell me if I have. Oh, I have. Okay. All right. Cool. I need to drag. Sorry, I'm just dicking around. Oh no, I've got it turned on. Okay. All right. Okay. You should be able to see that. All right. Let me just test something. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then activate.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Wowee.
Can you see
Ooh.
the whole map is my question.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, actually, I'll just see what you guys can see. Oh, yeah, that works really well. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it would. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let me describe what you can see. So in the center of the room is a really dense growth of this orange-red vine. There are these large pods. It's a vast circular room. You can see corrupted growth growing everywhere. The whole room is sort of vaguely, lightly illuminated with this sort of red glow from the bioluminescence. You're literally surrounded by these vines everywhere on the floor.
But there's
In the center
no
of the
light
room
pressure.
is this very bright, well, bright comparatively, like very well lit by the vines as its growth of vines. So there's this sort of deep, sort of warming sound coming from there. You can see one figure in the room looks wearing robes. Where is he? Oh, is it just? Oh, sorry, I've just realised something. Is it?
Is it, are they Coriolite robes?
Yeah, well, big hat, long robes. No, not definitively. No, not a Coriolite, because they are wearing the gear of a navigator, a member of the Navigators Guild, quite a senior member of the
Oh.
Navigators
So this
Guild.
this is who we're here for.
Yes, you assume so. There are 6 stone pillars, which you can see, which are identified as C, spread around the room, forming effectively a rough circle. It's humid, and the floor is uneven. There's water and other things rowing around. You can also hear fans, like heat fans, like the big fans that you were, the heat units you're expecting to find, but they seem to be covered. What's G? Ah, all right. Where have you guys dropped in? Oh yeah, you've come out of G. Is that right? Is that where you meant to come in? Yeah, side tunnel. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so yes, so you've come through here, you've dropped in. Then you can hear fans humming from somewhere in this zone, just to tell you it's where D is on the map. And that's what you can see. Now, I'm conscious that we're right on 8:30, but we're also at the last scene. Can't see any reason why we can't finish it off. So shall we finish it off, people? There wouldn't be enough role playing if we didn't. So are people happy to continue for another 20, 25 minutes? And
I
we'll get
I mean, I am.
Yeah.
I would love to, but I'm also conscientious that Matt might appreciate being part of this scene.
Yeah.
But I might
True.
also appreciate not next weekend. I might not be able to get up. So I'm
Oh,
gonna rule that.
Okay, so we'll push on then.
We've all made life choices, and
Yes,
they're
we
very
have.
reasonable ones.
All
Everyone
right.
has made reasonable life choices. Okay,
Fair
so
enough.
there's this dense growth in the middle. There's this other thing here. I'm just gonna put. Oh,
Where is our
That's hilarious.
hatted hero? Where is Mr. Navigator?
Mr. Navigator. Oh, God,
Or
he's on
Mrs.
everything.
Or Ms.
Hold on. I'm just putting
Hey.
that thing on the table.
All right.
I'm
Don't like the
assuming
fact he's a monster claw, but okay.
he's kind of waxy
And
Oh
there's
dear.
That's
Oh,
just
that
his
wait.
guy.
t-shirt.
Okay, this guy is the navigator.
Does appear to be, yep.
Okay. I imagine that given that it's got an orange circle around it, that might possibly be the tree that's glowing and possibly writhing around.
Yeah, that's the big, the claw symbol is definitively the thing.
All right.
Burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it.
All right,
we
so
use
it's
our-
there. He's actually, sorry, now that I've just read his little description, he's kind of here.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But he's like standing in front of it. He's wearing, and his robes are like purple. He's got this weird coney hat kind of. Actually, it looks very much modeled on the sort of hats that you would have seen if you've read any or viewed any sort of Ottoman Turk sort of officials.
Yep.
It's this very tall cone
Yep.
hat that goes straight up in a cone like that. All right.
Like Guyan.
Well, this is the guy we're
Yes.
looking for. So
Yeah, actually,
I'm
like
gonna,
Guyan.
I'm gonna,
Yep.
It's Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm gonna,
Look out.
I'm gonna approach him.
Okay, so
Start
you
what? Start
cautiously
approaching.
approach him.
Yeah,
I'm,
obviously, I'm not gonna. I am gonna sort of start. Hello, friend. We've been sent to find you. We're from the ship city.
I'm documenting this.
He
so we
looks at you and goes, "Finally, my beautiful brethren are here to save me."
Yeah, that's precisely what we're here for. Precisely what we're here for.
I am very tired. take me to my home so that I can rest again.
He's speaking funny. Can I roll an insight check?
You can roll a empathy check. Oh, insight. Actually, yeah, it should be insight. No, I agree completely. It's definitively insight. And
I've
have you
only
got
3
anything
dice for that.
about telling whether people are off or weird or strange or
Or
any?
viney.
Would streetwise count?
No,
Is he
he's not a
perhaps
criminal.
is he
about
waxy
Charmer?
looking and have
Is he waxy looking? I believe that would be a perception check from Asmira by the sounds of it. With
What
-1.
about What about Charmer?
No, that's if you were trying to impress him, not the other way around.
Demolitions expert?
Maybe later.
It may come in.
Worth a
It
go.
may come about. Oh, Ashmira, you're on a roll.
yeah.
Oh, I failed.
But Ashmira, you can see that kind of waxy sheen to their skin that you identified with the last ones, absolutely.
Well, I've not noticed anything, so I'm just gonna. Yes, we're here to take you home so you can rest up. That's what we're here to do.
Now, you
He's
guys have all got comms that works kind of line of sight.
Yeah.
Like you've got radio comms within the helmets of your suits. They don't work when they don't work when you're blocked, but you guys are literally in the same room and line of sight is possible. So just to mention, you can talk sotto voce without being detected.
I
As
whisper,
go on.
he's waxy to everyone. He's blighty.
Are
Old
we
blighty.
thinking he's infected?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not
Slowly
even.
ready my rifle.
I'm going this way. Okay, so I'm sneaking over to D as they're talking to Buddy. So I'm gonna try to sneak
Okay,
over.
can you make a sneaking roll for me, please? Which is
Is this
agility based.
Agility based. All right, and I would
Nothing
like
to
to
see here. It's
use.
just me quietly walking around the room.
I think
Yep.
maybe I could use librarian for that, or maybe renown. No. Um,
I will give you. I will just say at this point in time, since nothing's gone off, and it's actually the navigator is talking. I'm just going to refer to them as the navigator for now until you decide otherwise formally. The navigator is talking to Attila, so you can get a bonus 2 die. Like nothing's particularly paying attention to you at the moment.
all right.
Let's face it, this
So-
guy is the BBEG.
Okay, so I am going to make that roll. And you say I get a bonus 2?
Yep, because it's distracted by what's going on. And no.
Oh dear.
All right, so you start to
okay,
move.
so
are you
now
going to do what I
this-
think you?
Okay, yeah, probably.
Okay.
How? What do I take for damage if I when I fail? Am I taking?
Well, you'll take hope. This'll
I'll take
definitively.
hope. Okay,
you'll
so
be pushing it.
I'm absolutely
you-
pushing this.
Yeah, it's hope. Yep.
Okay, so I have
Oh.
lost a lot of hope, but I have moved. But he's aware of me,
Yes,
right?
but you haven't moved particularly stealthily.
No. Oh no.
So
I take off I take off 2 supply, right?
not supply. It's automatically deducted hope.
Oh, it's okay. So my hope.
We're
is
not in
gone, so I'm
delve.
fine.
We're not in delve. We're not doing
Okay.
delve. This is
All
just
right.
you moving around the room now.
All right.
However, the bad news is as you sort of try and creep, you see the vines all starting to writhe and move in front of you and sort of in effect protecting where you were going to and blocking your path. Like definitively you feel like if you try and move through that, something's bad is going to happen.
Well, I think runaway is in order, and I will return as soon as things unfold.
Okay, but you're there right now.
I'm there right now.
Asmira has just told everyone he's waxy. I quote. So, declaration of actions, please. Attila, what are you doing with this piece of useful insight? And if I may just place you, could you just place yourself pretty much right in front of him? That'd be great.
Oh shit!
You use
Oh
your breach
no!
charge.
That'd be lovely. You did say I'm
I've done
walking
it.
over to him to talk to him.
I said walking towards.
Sure. Okay. I'll give you 1 square. You can go back 1 square.
Great. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. You're there.
Oh, wow.
right.
At this point, my hand is going down towards my pistol,
Yep.
and I'm getting ready on the draw because I've seen similar symptoms in people upstairs, and I don't like it.
You do not. You are not a fan.
No, I'm not. They're over at D.
Yeah. Now, just as a small side note, as additional potential information, Eosop, I know your perception is absolutely shite at the moment, but would you like to give me a perception roll, please?
Well, yes, I absolutely would with my 3 dice. Oh, -1.
Oh, -1.
Is it still -1?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really hot in here. Like this room in particular, it's in really hot. No. Okay. All good.
I'm going to push.
I assume you are not pushing.
Oh. I'm going to push.
You're going to push on 2 dice.
But there was
nothing happened.
Nothing happens.
Either way. All right. No, all good. So Attila, you have got your hand ready to draw, but are waiting for something to go down. That feels
I'm
like
waiting
a Verloff
for him
question.
to make the
Verloff,
first
what are you
move.
doing?
Yeah. I would like to move over like here.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
And
There doesn't seem
then
to be
get into
anything that
position with a
happens.
rifle because I heard zombie on the radio.
Okay. So
I'm
once
still
again,
waiting.
pull out the coiler carbine and point it in the general direction of Mr. Purple.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And
awesome.
this time the tree is right behind him. So
Yeah. Which may be a target you want to hit as opposed to previous times. Yeah. By the way, can you also make a perception roll for me, please?
yes. Well, I can try.
You can.
And a -1.
All we can do.
Should I have made one as well?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
I'll push.
You're going to push as well. Okay.
It seems important.
Well done. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, 3 dice, no worries, mate.
Nice.
No difference.
Okay, so you lost a hope point.
Lost a hope.
You got a success. Okay. This plant has these giant pods, some of which have cracked open. They're like, to use American measurement, like they're like 6 foot sort of long, just above 6 foot, sort of 2 meter long pods, some of which have cracked open.
I think the technical term is freedom units.
Freedom units it is, yep, because you can't call them imperial units. Anyway, moving on. All right, so, there are pods there.
Oh,
About the size of people.
About the size of people.
Pods the size of people on the big plant thing. Be very fucking careful.
Yeah, this reminds me of the original Mutant game had a starter adventure with an old tree that had pods that cloned people.
Pod people. There's going to be pod
Is that
people.
genuinely the first Mutant adventure?
Yeah.
Because this module is 1,000,000% that module.
This is so cool. That is very cool.
There's going to be pod people.
That's hilarious. They should put a marker up the front. If you played the very first starter for Mutant, you will know this adventure. Anyway, all right, cool. Okay, so that leaves us with you, Asmira. What do you want to do?
I am grabbing my recharge and set it to go off, and I will try to throw it at the tree.
Okay, yay! It's combat. Okay. All right. So let's just add everything to combat. I will delete the mention of him being a survivor. I wasn't sure if when you hovered over it, it showed what he was, so I didn't want to. I'll just put him in as the replica that he clearly is.
Very clearly is.
Mm.
I think that's pretty much everyone. He says bravely, going back and checking. Yep. Go Cassandra. Okay. I need. Is there a way to? Sorry, I'm just seeing something. I kind of need to do that, I think. Yeah, and then again. Okay. All right, done. Okay,
Good,
throw
yes.
your bomb. Asmira.
How do I do that?
I think that sounds like an agility roll to me.
Right.
Nah, strength,
As you,
mate.
as you hurl this explosive device in the general direction of the monster.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
gosh!
Look at that.
Bloody
You're having
hell.
a good night.
Bloody hell.
Right in the mouth.
Right at it.
Push it, see if you can
Coming
get
right
more.
at it. Okay, so explosives. Pretty sure they work just like good old fashioned every year zero explosive, i.e. they're either crap or stupidly deadly. I actually had a game recently, we were playing Vaesen and one person had bought dynamite and he was desperate to use it and they were in a small enclosed space and he threw it and it literally took out the entire party.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a literal I'm fudging these rolls
Whilst
so that
you're
we
there,
don't kill everyone.
Whilst you're at the
comment.
explosives, can you have a look at shape charge? Is it shape charges I've got?
It's a
Uh,
breach shard, but I think it's shape shard. It's a shape shard.
Yeah, I think it'll
Yeah,
be
I've got a shape
Oh,
charge.
I
it'll
can
be
look
the
it up.
same,
Shape
I suspect.
shape
Actually, I don't know
shard?
why I didn't just open up explosives, which I actually because I only have two. Okay, that's why I didn't put all the explosives in. That's the one thing I didn't put into the items. Damn it! Oh no. For reasons I cannot find. Here we go. Not find weapons. I have now found weapons. Okay. It should go under improvised weapons, really. Exoskeleton, weapons and accessories. You've got your beacon props for fun and giggles. No, I can't find the shape charge damage.
I've got it here.
Yeah, what's it say?
54?
It's got damage 1, crit of 3.
50.
Does
Page
it have a
50.
power rating? Or that's usually what you need for shape charges, for explosives.
I don't think so. I can have a look myself.
All right, so I'm just going to make a decision in the absence of finding the answer.
If you okay, so page 71. If you fire an explosive weapon into a zone,
yeah,
with you get
other dangers. Damn it.
plus
Have
2
a blast
to the
power as well. Listed in chapter 6, have a blast power. If the attack hits, yeah, that's what I want. I want the blast power of the explosive. That's all I want. I just want the blast power. Fucking hell. That's all I need. Just give me the blast power, you stupid
blast
thing.
power is 72?
As in for the weapon or just to describe
No, page number.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
72.
blast power. No, it's
Blows
100.
it to bit.
No. The tech cost for a bomb, the blast power is 9. It's on page 106.
That's what I was looking for. All right, blast power 9. Roll 9 dice for me. Well, actually, sorry, roll agility. I'm sticking with my roll agility. That took us a long time to get there. 2 successes, that's right. So that adds to the blast power. So
Damage-
you
3
get
successes
11,
actually.
you get
Damage
11
3,
dice,
crit 5.
and you get 11 dice of blast power.
Yeah, I got 3 successes, so it should
Yeah,
be
so the bomb hits. It's going to do
Yeah.
3 points of damage.
2 points
You-
2 points extra. And how do I roll?
Just roll it from the dice pool at the bottom. So just click
Okay.
the D6s until you get to 9. No, sorry. So let me be really clear. You're adding 2 dice to the blast power with the extra successes, not 2 damage.
Right. So
That's
11
11
D6,
dice
yeah.
of blast power, because the blast power is what does the damage,
Yeah.
which turns into
One,
exactly the same result. So
two.
that's fine. All right. So you do 3 points of explosive damage in the space as you throw it into there. Now, the only person who's in that zone, or partially in that zone, is you, Attila.
Me. Yeah.
So can you roll your armor, please?
Yes, of course I can.
As the explosion goes off.
Gear.
For my
Armor.
replica, who actually gets a point of armor. Hurrah! Oh, well done.
Is that?
Yeah, 2
Oh,
damage reduced.
yes,
So you
come
take 1
on.
point of damage.
Come on.
I'll roll for this thing as it cops an explosive blast. And gets no things, so it's definitely taken the full damage of that. Okay, so at this point, we go to proper combat, and I've already done the initiatives. The pod writhes violently and attacks immediately someone. First of all, it rolls a 3 for its attack, which is Root Spike. Targeting all explorers in the zone are attacked with 9 dice of damage. Right, that's you, Pete. You're the only one, so I'm just going to roll its attack.
Okay.
And see whether it gets any successes. No.
We were speaking about this earlier.
So the worm has turned, and I'm the one who's copping it in the neck now. Okay,
Well,
good.
it's because he's got 1 foot outside the zone.
It does.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Outside the zone.
I've got my right leg in and my
he
left leg
leaned
out,
back.
and they're going in, out, and now I'm shaking it all about, dodging the attacks.
Okay, so the next thing to move is actually the navigator lookalike, who
Come on then!
screams in anger and charges forward at someone. Once again, I'll just roll its attack first to see whether it's an everyone attack or a person attack. A 4. Ooh, that sounds promising. Spike Surge. Organic growths erupt from the replica's body towards 2 explorers in the same zone with 9 dice.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
It's
I can
like-
take it all day. All day.
It's like, okay, so
all day. I'll mitigate that. That's fine.
that's base damage 1. So it's
like
1 point of damage. Make your armor roll.
I'll make my armor roll, and let's mitigate that, shall we? Come on. Come on.
Oh.
Okay,
boo.
no. Ooh, 1 point of damage. Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
It's like you're taking
You
a
actually
relaxing
got me.
shower.
Yeah,
Now for
yeah.
the bad news. The Kasam pod is really bad news. So it gets 3 attacks.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
And its initiative means it gets all of them before any of you move. So, attack number 2.
Come on then.
3. Sharpen roots. Oh no, hold on. Wrong monster. Embarrassment. Kasam pod. Oh, I could just double click on it, couldn't I? Yeah, I could. Okay. What did I roll? A 3, wasn't it?
Yes,
3.
yeah.
Root spike burst. Oh, there you go. It's the same one. All explorers in the zone are attacked for 9 dice. Fucking hell.
Come on then. Let's go. Come on.
Oh.
I should maybe stop taunting it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe you should,
maybe.
because if
Maybe.
So as long as we don't enter the zone, we're
Yeah, that's it.
invulnerable.
We're fine. We're learning as this is going on. Thanks, Captain.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
shouldn't talk
successes.
that.
It's 1 point of damage. Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Mitigate 1.
okay, beautiful. So 1 point of damage, and last but certainly not least, crushing overgrowth. The surges outward, expanding its mass and crushing everything in its path of root and vines. All explorers in the zone are attacked with a 10 dice attack as the thing smashes down upon you.
Let's get me this time.
Oh,
God. 2 points of damage. Hell.
How many?
2 points.
Oh, two.
Okay, let's see if we can mitigate some of that.
That's just like you just watched. Holy shit!
Oh, it's only 1.
So how many hit points have you got left?
6.
Six.
Holy crap! I literally just unloaded
I'm
everything
hard as
I've got
fuck,
at you.
mate.
I love how Thomas built it up. These are really, really tough.
Come
I
on,
watched
then.
every attack against one single character, and it's like, I've seen better. What is this thing trying to do?
worse.
All right.
Yeah.
Common cold, mate.
Okay, so it's attacked, it's throwing everything it's got at you, Attila, and you are standing there, sort of your suit's slightly damaged, a bit shredded, but you are definitively sitting on top of the world.
That's why he's the captain.
He's the captain. Now we know why he's the captain. All right, and funnily enough, the next person to move is Verloff, which is possibly not a big surprise.
So Verloff has been on one knee with his gun.
You've got perfect line of sight.
And he's been watching all of this going, and then snaps out of it and is going to go pull on him.
This is only made Attila's
I
massive
am going
ego
to
even
assert
bigger.
you're going to have to take down the replica before you can hit the pod.
Yeah.
Because you are literally on an angle line that suggests that's a fair combat.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. So target him and unload. I assume you're auto-firing again.
Yes. And
now, Eosop has not deployed their analyze for this combat. Is it per combat or per scenario?
It's per combat, I believe. Let me just go back, and I have to be in the same zone.
Which you're not.
Yep.
Who knew that the zone map would matter in this combat? I'll be upfront. I didn't, but it does.
But I'll use flank for this, since I have literally flanked.
Can you use it once per combat, or once per session, or once per scene?
That's a great question. Let me look.
It should tell you.
Flank. You get +3 base dice against 1 attack roll against an enemy.
Okay. Or there might be a more broad statement about how maybe it's not yet that level. Maybe it's at the. Where are the roles described? Equipment talents, insight talents, traveler. You know what? For the sake of moving the fight along, let's just assume you can. Go for it. Let's go.
Okay.
Once per the entire engagement. Yeah, no, so you're completely fine. Okay, go.
Oh, cool. All right. So +3.
Oh.
All right, you hit.
You hit.
All right, so that is on my mate and yours, Mr. He's not actually a navigator, it turns out, after all. He gets 1 point of armor. I'm just making the assumption you're not pushing it.
Yeah, no.
So he takes 2 points of damage, which means he is still standing. But you have successfully hit, so you may continue to roll that attack, please.
All right, I'll keep trying to mow him down, because he looks like a special pod, not just a regular pod. So I kind of want to take him out for dealing with the tree.
Yeah.
Well, first rule of
I kind of
combat,
have
right?
to. Yeah.
Take out one opponent before you kill the monster. Kill the monster dead. Ooh, ow. Oh, okay, he's not getting better from that. He could roll. Actually, he can't get better from that. He can roll 3 successes and it would still kill him. All right, so yeah, you blast through this thing, but you've got 1 additional success, which means you can traverse the fire into the big pod thing.
All right, so I'll just
And I'm just going to delete him from the thing because he's destroyed. I'm getting away otherwise. Yep.
Okay. And nice.
Now, it doesn't matter. Okay. I just realized were you adding your flank bonus to that?
No, that wasn't.
Okay, all right, awesome. Then don't worry about what I was about to say. Yeah, wow, 4 points. And they're monsters. They don't really take crits. Yeah. So, but ouch. Fuck. Ow. 4 points of damage. Jesus. All right. All right. So you pour your coiler carbine fire into it. I will just say, in complete for all those people who loved combat and Coriolis, the Third Horizon, and min-maxed their auto fire to death, which basically everyone who ever wanted to be a really deadly fighter did. Feel reassured. Auto fire is still the kick-ass thing that it always has been, and most importantly, bring a auto fire weapon when you are delving, because the monsters, they're not so tough. All right, they're more targeted at resisting fusillade pistols than they are at resisting coiler carbines. All right, it is still alive, however, and I believe it is someone's go. Whose go is it? I'm
My
glad
go.
you asked. It is Attila's go. Correct, Amondo. Attila, you've stood there. You've taken everything it can throw at you. You're completely unaffected.
So having my already massive ego just inflated.
All of this is true.
And Attila's ego.
And Attila's ego, exactly.
And
Nice.
Ashmira's ego.
Yeah, you know what? I feel fine. I feel great. How many squares can I move?
Look, it's usually you can move within a zone with a small action, so I think it's fine. The hexes are my edition, not the games edition. I've just put the hexes in to put tokens in and create a bit of space. So go for it.
So I can move sort of like here because it's technically in the same zone.
Yep. No problems at all.
I'm going to move here and fire at the thingy-mabob.
Okay.
The pod thing.
So you run over there and then you turn back and fire, as opposed to just standing still and firing. This is but you are getting out of the way. I like it. You're no longer directly in the line of sight of your colleagues who you have doubts about their accuracy. So I respect everything about this decision.
It's more to get closer to the fans. But...
And I've been.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is he in the same zone as myself? This is the question.
Look, I'm going to rule he's in both zones for the sake of this conversation.
So you're going to get 2 extra dice because I've been speaking to you and analyzing the situation.
Excellent.
Nice. Okay,
that's 2 extra base dice.
Yeah.
What is your analysis of the situation?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing that great. Attila?
Not great enough, though. That's a fail. Do you want to push?
Okay.
Fire again.
It's not come up in the chat thing for me to push.
Oh, it has.
It has.
Scroll down.
Not for me.
Scroll down.
Let me refresh. I've scrolled all the way down. Let me refresh quick. Come on. Let's see if that works.
To tell you, you've got 1 fail on 1 gear dice. So do you want me to hit the push button? Because I can hit the push button.
There you go. I'm back.
Okay.
Awesome. You know what? Sod it.
Yeah, push.
Well, that was a good decision.
That was an excellent decision.
Wow.
and you got the crit threshold.
Yeah, it's a monster, so crits don't affect it. But,
okay.
Yeah, crits don't count.
But 4 points of damage counts.
Yep.
Okay, so a bit of the gun spangs off into the darkness, making it less reliable. But you blast away. You obviously see this long vine heading out towards the heating vans, and Oyasop calls it out, and you blast away at that, and it rises and it's bleeding profusely at this point. It's almost dead. I will just tell you that. It's very close to dead. And at that moment, it is Yun's turn. Yun.
Right, and I shoot it with my pistol.
Very wise. Roll to hit, please. And you hit.
Early.
Are you doing any pushing for extra damage, or are you just going to let it rest on the 2 points of damage you've done?
Yeah, I'll push it even if my hope is really low.
Awesome.
How low is your hope?
2.
But it didn't move the needle in either direction. However, I have 4 points of armor. Oh, you guys are unlucky. It goes spit. and is completely unaffected, which means it's I'm gonna make you go first, Yosop, just in case because it's Yasena's go and then you'll go. But I'll make you roll the dice, please, first. What are you doing? Are you gonna charge it, Yasena? Are you gonna race into that zone? And
I don't have that. I don't have that crap on me. So I don't have my crustacean type of spear. So I'm gonna have to do something really, really dumb and just shoot it with my little rinky-dink pistol. So
go for it.
Boom.
Boom.
No extra dice, nothing like that. Just
But
boom.
it's a success. Are you gonna push it?
Oh, absolutely. Because this
Okay,
is the
roll to
this
push.
is the time to push.
This is the time.
And it did, I guess, not a lot.
But
Some
I only reduced 1 damage and it had 1 point of health left.
Aha!
Okay.
most unlikely person to kill it.
Well, no, actually, I would argue the most likely person to kill it because it's always the person who's shit at combat who rolls the last point of damage and does
That's
the
right.
1 point that kills the monster. All right, so at that point, the combat is over. You've blasted it apart. I am going to speed run this last little bit because it's now 9 o'clock my time and I should be getting with the family to head off to market. So to sort of wrap it up, you search the room and you find a couple of things. Most importantly, you find the actual body of the navigator, which is E over there and that over here.
Okay.
Which has the little identifier bracelet that you were told to go and find. So yes, it was pod people. The monster was replicating people, not infecting them. So the pods were replicas. You search the room a bit more, and there is actually there's shards to be found, which are effectively the equivalent of treasure. Trying to think, where's the sound pod? This pod is slowly consumed. You killed it.
Any builder stuff?
Yeah, that's what the shards are.
Okay. So the shards are okay.
Yeah.
Can we turn off the heating fans to make sure this thing doesn't
Yes,
grow
you
back?
can turn off, cut the power to, do whatever you want to do to the heating fans. I'm just going to roll. Just going to make it 2d6 as you search around the room. Yep, so you find 5 shards. I think they're each worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
I think a shard is worth like 500 or something.
That'll do.
Plus
the money we were promised for this.
Yes.
Yeah, plus the money you were promised for this. So, and then what happens on the way out is technically, we don't re-roll for blight, but what you do is you just count the number of squares you've got to move to get out. Now, as it turns out, that's sort of 13, I'm pretty sure. So it's fine. So you've got more than enough supply to get out before you hit the supply boundary, which is 3. So if you start to get down to 3 supply, you start making interesting rolls. And obviously if you get to 0, you make very interesting rolls. you clamber your way out and return. What we will do is we'll role play out the sort of the return to the ship city, particularly, and the conversations you have in another session, rather than speed run that, if you're comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
Just to sort of round out the adventure and give you a chance to sort of role play through those components. But yeah, so there you go. So that is the delve done. Oh, actually, you do have to
Nice.
reduce.
Excellent.
Actually, sorry, I should make you all reduce your supply because, of course, if you want new supply, you'll have to buy it potentially.
So
Um,
how much supply do all of us have to spend?
So there's 5 of you, so let's say you each burn 3 for the sake of simplicity.
Oh, okay.
Fine by me.
Fine by me.
Good.
So that'll bring you neatly equal. So you clamber your way out through all of the growth. You've got the shards. You've got 5 shards, which is worth a bit of cash. You have indeed got the bracelet, which you can also bring back, and you head off into. And when we return, you'll be back at the ship city. All right. So a couple of comments from me before I ask you guys. But one thing to say is, I made the decision that wherever you are actually having, well, it actually says where a delve roll ends in an actual encounter, you don't use the little random encounter tables. And basically, because of the way you went and the rolls that Jon made in particular, you didn't actually do any of you didn't have any more hazards. Like, you didn't actually encounter them because you went into the room with the dead bodies, then you went into the room with the 2 pod people, and then you went straight down the shaft and were basically in the main encounter / combat. So the way it worked out is actually exactly what it looked like, which is, yeah. So important point is where there are those encounters, you're not encountering those hazards, which actually means that whole sense of, to make a small side comment, that whole sense of, we're making lots of journey rolls and it's just kind of repetitive is, I think, less true.
True.
Yep.
With that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And I was possibly a little generous in allowing a gear bonus for the delve rolls themselves. But having said that, I think, and I've said this last week, I think as a GM, noting the low dice, it's probably reasonable to be a little more expansive of your reading of certain things than restrictive. All right, so that's it from me. Maybe Pete, what do you think? Noting we've basically gone through it.
The delve felt fun. I actually enjoy the supply aspect of it and making sure you stay on top of what supplies you have and who's lowest on what, and the choice to, when you find some, the choice to spread it amongst the group or keep it for yourself. Yeah, that whole aspect feels fun to me. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. And this sort of one shot, I think, has changed my mind about how to feel about the game, because initially I was hesitant. Why are they bringing out another game in the Coriolis universe? But now that I've actually played it and I'm enjoying it, I feel slightly different in that I think, yeah, this has sort of a place in the Coriolis universe, even though I haven't fully explored the third horizon.
Nice, thank you. By the way, I do just want to tell you that I've just added up all the attacks you took while you were in the zone. It was 48 dice worth of attacks.
Come on then.
How much damage?
I'm a tank, mate. I'm a tank, mate.
Final damage, you went down to 6. What was your total? What was your starting hit point?
9 is my starting. I maybe should have taken 1 more. I'm not too sure.
I think maybe, but yeah, either way,
yeah.
4 points of damage or 48 dice, which included the explosives from Asmira, by the way, just to be clear. So
come on then.
You
I'm
know,
hard as fuck, mate.
that's a genuinely impressive number of successful survives. All
I
right,
feel
and what?
like IOSOP should be writing a poem about like, Attila just standing there, flames passing around him, and like, just this,
Yeah.
I don't know, epic
Oh,
ode
heroic.
Yeah, he's
Heroic.
the protector. He took
Or
all
one
the
other
fire.
view is watching Attila sort of be bounced from one explosion to the That's how he made
Yeah,
it to
right.
the
A
other
haiku
side of the
about that,
zone.
Ukiyo-e.
All right, Jon, what did you think?
Really fun. I also like the supply del mechanics. And I like that the gear gives so much bonus, because then you have to plan and get right stuff for what you're planning to do. That's good, I think. It's a small but nice aspect of the game. Then I wonder, I guess you can make the delves pretty different or varied, because if it's exactly the same, you get down a cigarette and meet some stuff and then find some shards, then maybe it could be repetitive in the long run. But I'm thinking you can do a lot of stuff. And then, of course, don't forget to play in the ship city and travel and everything, because that's very fun also.
Yeah, just on the ships, on the great ships, not the ship city. I had a thought, which is as a GM, if I was running it, I'd actually sort of keep like a little journal of each of the ships, so that when you go back to that particular line, for want of better language, like, and you get on that ship, it's like things have moved on, but it's still the same people, and you could
Yeah.
build up a whole storyline of as you move across places and go to different places, and then you've been away for 6 months, and then you get back on that ship, and suddenly things have moved forward, and you're like, whatever happened to those Coriolis worshippers? Oh yeah, we spaced them all because they undermined the safety of the ship. It's like your scene's going, yes, I guess that makes some sense. Anyway, so it's like, and who's taken their place, and now the ship is fervently anti-Coriolite and wants to sort of look suspiciously at every Coriolite that joins the ship because they're a risk to the safety of the crew. Like, so that type of thing, like that would be a cool thing to build into the way you ran the game. It would work really well, actually. Cool. Jed.
Let's see. Well, I think I'm starting to get my brain wrapped around Coriolis, because again, like I said, I've never played it before. And I think the delve was pretty cool. I like the sort of like the solving the logistical problem, and the whole, do we have enough supply to get in, get out, and everything kind of like eats away at that. I think my only complaint really is the side view map. Like I know games where you'd be like, you have a top-down map, and every room is sort of mapped out, and it's very like this final encounter, very much like that. And then there's games where it's purely theater of the mind, and we have no map at all, and it's all based on descriptions and everything, and maybe somebody's doing a hand map. And I feel like the side map, while it looks really cool, it actually sort of fell into this weird middle space where it was a little too abstract, but also not abstract enough. So it was a little hard for me to kind of like visualize us climbing down a shaft, and all the things we were actually doing when we got to the room with the corpses and everything. So
That's really interesting. Do you think that would work better if there were mapped rooms when you got to the rooms? Well, rooms with encounters.
If it was purely combat encounters, I would think so. Like, I think the top-down map here for this combat made total sense.
Yeah.
And I think like the side view is neat. Like I almost preferred the first one, which was like the CRT one, that was even more kind of like, here's your display view of where you are. But I don't know.
Okay, no, that's
I don't have a fully full idea, but that was just kind of what popped out of me, was I was having a little hard time with the side view keeping me engaged.
Cool. Doug, thoughts?
Yeah, I really like it. I actually am thinking that it will be a game that I will want to play as a campaign. One of the benefits of the Third Horizon was the interplay between characters. And so when you mentioned, Thomas, this idea of being on a ship, having the love boat or whatever, where you're interacting with the people, you're getting to know the crew, things have changed, and yet things are the same. I think that was part of the Third Horizon, and that you'd go into the various sectors of Coriolis, or you'd go down to Kua, or you had a connection that was a personal connection, and not just, I'm going out, I'm going to do a fight, which essentially is a delve anyway, or a dungeon crawl, which this is. And so I do feel that it has every element that Coriolis Third Horizon has. It's just twisted into a different shape. So I'm really happy with it. I think that the mechanics work well. I don't think the mechanics have been really tested by us yet. I think that it would be nice to have seen some crit tables come up. It would have been nice to see some of those waxy creatures in that room start to throw some stuff at us, but we were very efficient. And so I like it. I still have to get my head around the bird. I like the bird, but I think that you definitely, there's just something about having a decision maker as a player, and that was just a situation today which we could not have avoided. So all in all, I really love the game. In terms of mapping and stuff like that, I think at some point someone will come up with a 3D type of model of delving, and you'll click and you'll be able to get the top-down view like we've had at the last battle. So I think that it's very innovative. I like it. I really like the 6 stats. I don't find that it's similar to other game systems. I really like having perception and insight as an attribute. I like that a lot. The only complaint maybe is I'm constantly staring at my talent tree or talents to see what I have and how I can use them. But in the same breath, I really like that as well, because it keeps me engaged in my character. And that's it.
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
So a couple of thoughts, final thoughts. I think it's really fascinating. A lot of, like, as a person who's run a really long campaign in Coriolis, the Third Horizon, I actually think the rules are not great as a radical perspective to hold. I think people are conflating the setting and the lore with the rules. The rules of Coriolis, the Third Horizon, are actually a bit shit, just to say it out loud. Like, darkness points, name a GM who's ever said, I don't hand wave darkness points. I have yet to meet one who doesn't go, oh, I hand wave them because I actually decide which way I want to use them and how I want them to deploy. They're the core mechanic of the pushing mechanism, right? Like, they're one of the core mechanics. Like, so people who are saying, oh, the rules are so much better, and it's like, are they? Auto fire is broken in traditional Coriolis, like literally broken. If you want to be an excellent combatant, you just take auto fire and you take the talents for it, and then you are the death machine. So I just want to say, I think the whole, oh, the rules are so much better in Coriolis is actually kind of bollocks, to be completely transparent. I think what everyone is getting conflated is the amazing depth of the lore, which is brilliant and is what makes Coriolis, the Third Horizon, so much fun to play in, and so much fun to GM, and so much fun in every ways. I take the point that you get more dice to roll, but I don't think that matters mechanically as much as people think it does. And I think there's a rich lore set that's much tighter, which was explicitly what they wanted to do when they wrote this game. They went out of their way to say, we're stripping down the number of factions. We want it to be a smaller group of political players so that you're just not lost in a mess. And I think they've done that really well. I think as a GM, it's more work than it first appears. That would be my one very important note. I think that the Great Dark requires actually a fair amount of work by the GM. I don't think it's a game where you just turn up and you just, what's the term? Sandpit. Sort of, it's not,
Sandbox?
it's a sandbox. Sorry, yeah, it's a sandbox game, I think, but like a lot of sandbox games, there's actually a very significant amount of heavy lifting by the GM to make a sandbox game really sing. It's actually harder than sort of written modules with written descriptions of every encounter, because the GM is constantly having to manufacture the answer to the question, what's interesting about this particular encounter as opposed to the last one. And so if you approach this as pure sandbox and you just use the tables, it would be as boring as batshit, I would argue. And I think it would get there pretty fast, because you'd roll the equivalent of the One Ring, which I'm much more familiar with. Hunting, the hunter gets a encounter and they have to make their hunting roll, and if they fail, you get 2 shadow points. It's exactly the same, right? Like, this could turn into that in a heartbeat. To be fair, they've actually given more dynamism to that table than the One Ring. Like, the table's more matrixy than linear in the way that it is in the One Ring. But equally, it would get samey very fast. So the one really big criticism is, as a GM, you actually do need to pre-roll the encounters. You need to think hard. You need to come up with a narrative structure around them to make them make sense and be interesting. I think the delves are actually going to be fun as hell when they're written. But I think, once again, the GM needs to think about, well, what's the secret of the delve? Like, what's the secret of the monster, or what's the secret of the experience? And in this case, it was obviously the pod people thing, which was the underlying interesting fact of this delve, is there's this thing. And by the way, there's a whole... Sorry, go.
Sorry.
No,
I was just going to ask, had we rolled more encounters, would we have run into pod people and had to figure out?
No, the encounters were... Oh, actually, there might have been one more pod people encounter. There's one... No, there's only 3. There's only 3 pod people, so no, you met them all. But there's, like, the vines are doing other things, like they're crawling around and doing things, so you get a bit more of that action. But for instance, if you don't twig to the pod people, which obviously you all did very easily, as it turned out, but if you don't twig to the pod people, then there's a risk you take them back to the great city.
Yeah.
And they infect.
The pod people should have been much harder to detect. Like,
yes,
we didn't before we even saw anything. We're just like, how do they alive down here? They're clearly zombies. Like, there's no rational explanation for them to still be alive.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I think that's exactly right. I think the only thing that would stop you, the only thing that might attract you, is the thought that they're in. But you hadn't worked out they were pod people initially. You did think they were infected. And so there is a situation where you might go, well, they're infected, but they're still the prize. Like, the navigator is still the prize, and so you might disable the navigator and ship them back to the great city, because you're going to get paid if you bring the body back. If you don't bring the body back, you're not getting paid. But you guys had already cottoned on to, when you saw the pods and worked out what was going on there, it was like, oh no, we're definitely getting out of here. There's a whole possibility in this scene in particular where you don't fight the monster at all. You agree to take the navigator back and nothing happens, and you just take the navigator back. And that actually is how the dial ends. You take him back, because the big monster in the middle only reacts if you attack it or him. Otherwise, it does nothing.
Yeah.
Because its goal is to get out of this ziggurat and spread. So it's actually very happy for you to sort of just ship the body back home. But having said that, I think it's completely legit that you make perception rolls to see giant pods hanging from it and make your own assumptions about what that means. So, that is how it's described, and I think that's and it was definitively you guys going, oh, they're pod people. So,
I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of Alien, given that Alien is going on at the moment. I think that once people start putting on DriveThru adventures, delves, that we're going to see
and adventures more generally. Sorry, I didn't just say delves.
Yeah, because I don't think that they're coming out with something right away, are they? I think there's...
I didn't think so, no. And there's a whole... And this will be covered by their DriveThru license, so people will definitively start making
and I think that that's going to just... I think that we'll see a similar explosion as we did with Vaesen, because that has a lot of home created stuff that's doing very well. I think that Coriolis is built for that. So Yeah, I think that the heavy lifting is absolutely there, but at the same time, there will be a lot of creative people who are out there saying, "Okay, look, here you go. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it."
Yeah.
Something
All right.
just occurred to me.
Unfortunately, I am going to have to go. I've held off my family more than long enough. They might have even already left, actually, quite possibly. But I'll go and see if that's true or not, and find out. I just want to say thank you. We'll obviously have one more session where we sort of round out the encounters and other things. But yeah, it's been great fun. You guys have been awesome. As a
been
group.
awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
running us
Thanks
through
for hosting,
that.
Yeah,
Thomas.
thank you.
Yep. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
no
get us
worries.
off the
Yeah.
stream and then we can say bye.